Dragon Ball What Ifs are one of the coolest parts of the video games, seeing how the characters or events could have been different if given even the slightest change. And in the PS2 generation, we would get them all the time. I already covered all the What Ifs in Sparking Zero, so let's go back to its predecessors. Every What If in Dragon Ball Z Sparking, or rather, Budokai Tenkaichi.
If there's a world you don't know, I'll take you there.
Huh? A world I don't know?
That's right. There are many worlds that you don't know about. I can guide you a little around those worlds.
That's incredible, Supreme Kai! Let's hurry and go!
Let's begin with Tenkaichi 1, released in 2005. The game's story mode was the Z Battle Gates, presented as stories at the lookout by Mr. Popo. There were a few what-if stories in some of the individual sagas, and larger standalone what-ifs that were mostly the bad endings of arcs. So let's begin with the first one. Revenge of the Saiyans! What if the Saiyans rebelled against Frieza? As with every story gate in the game, we begin with some narration from King Kai, who always sounds like he's on the brink of a breakdown.
The Saiyans had sworn their allegiance to the Emperor, Frieza. However, there was a revolt in the making. The Saiyans wanted to overthrow Frieza himself.
This is a universe where more Saiyans remained alive and working under Frieza, as you'll see. The Prince of the Saiyans, Vegeta, lands to confront Zarbon, one of Frieza's elites. Zarbon thinks Vegeta is a fool for thinking he stands a chance, and he will put a stop to his rebellion before it truly starts. But to Vegeta, this is personal, tired of Zarbon looking down on him. But Vegeta isn't the only one who's gotten stronger. But enough talk. The Saiyans are a true warrior race that shouldn't be underestimated. Vegeta and Zarbon jump into action and, man, the computer sure loves spamming key bullets in this game. It's cool to see how the series evolved, because all the basics are here, just in a really rough and archaic way. After showing just how far he's grown, Vegeta defeats Zarbon, and he drops to the ground, lamenting his face being damaged. But he's not dead just yet. But first, Dodoria arrives.
Vegeta, you're pathetic! Really? Then what are you shaking for?
Dodoria keeps trying to mock him, calling him a spineless Saiyan, but Vegeta isn't interested in banter. Finally, to prove that he's better than Vegeta, Dodoria rushes at him, only to cry out that he's failed Frieza and die. But now that he's had time to recover, Zarbon returns into his transformed monster state. More confident than ever, Zarbon mocks Vegeta's surprise, as the prince just scoffs. Zarbon reveals that Frieza actually has transformations of his own, a line which actually didn't appear in the anime originally, just in the manga. This is an interesting line to include, since Frieza doesn't transform in this story. Anyways, if Vegeta couldn't even finish up Zarbon, what hopes does he have of beating Frieza? Well, Vegeta is about to prove just how wrong he is, and easily kill Zarbon. I know we've only been focused on Vegeta, but the implication here seems to be that the other Saiyans are out there fighting their own battles. Now that two of Frieza's elites are out of the way, the Saiyans come together to face none other than the Emperor of Evil. I guess the Ginyu Force was busy. Raditz, Nappa, Vegeta, a Cyberman, and Bardock all line up to face Frieza. These are all parallel fights, meaning each of them ends up beating Frieza. But he also talks about it as if he's running a gauntlet. Like I was saying, the intention is to imply that they're all fighting together at the same time, as you'll see with the ending cutscene. So I'll go over each one. First up is Raditz, whom Frieza is not at all impressed by. Raditz is actually scared at the prospect of facing him, and Frieza tells him that he looks tense.
You should relax, son. Take a moment.
This provokes Raditz, and though Frieza thinks it'll just be mindless entertainment, Raditz is ready to give it his all, or die trying. And when he does, all of Frieza's defeat cutscenes is just him saying how he can't believe it over and over again. The next battle is Cyberman vs Frieza, and while the Cyberman just grumbles and growls, Frieza wonders what he even is, some kind of artificially intelligent life form? It's kinda weird to think that Frieza wouldn't know what a Cyberman is.
Creepy little thing.
I will say, hearing Frieza's old voice, Linda Young, saying these things is pretty nostalgic. And thus the battle begins, and the Cyberman self-destructs to kill Frieza. Classic Cyberman.
How can this be the end? Never! I cannot lose!
Then we have the bald beast Nappa. From what Frieza says, it sounds like he's already been killing a few Saiyans, telling Nappa that,
Like cattle to the slaughter. You fellas can't seem to learn your lessons, can you?
the Saiyan is surprised, scared even, to see Master Frieza before him, and Frieza comments on how pitiful it is to see a grown-ass man's knees shaking in fear. Angered, Nappa promises to kill Frieza, only for him to treat him like a dog, encouraging his spirit and calling him old boy. The coolest fight out of all of these is Bardock versus Frieza. I guess in this universe, Bardock escaped the destruction of planet Vegeta by using his visions, and kept just serving under Frieza, looking for a good time to rebel, biting his tongue until the time was right, and informing the others about the truth, and encouraging the rebellion. Fun idea, but man, these Saiyans sure did get strong in comparison to the original. Even if Frieza never transforms, this is impressive. Finally, Bardock is ready to take revenge, while Frieza is tired of fighting gross little monkeys.
No one kills my friends and gets away with it.
Monkey see, monkey do.
They just keep running headfirst into their death. He's got more than a handshake for their meeting. Clearly, the Emperor isn't taking any of this seriously. Then we have the Prince versus the Emperor, the revenge we've all been waiting for. Goku may have stolen your kill in Res F, but now, in a game from 20 years ago, it's your time to shine, Vegeta.
Oh, Vegeta, not you too.
But Vegeta is cocky, and he's not going to make it easy for Frieza. Still, to Frieza, it's just sad to see them die like ants under his foot. Though Vegeta sees this differently, because he truly believes that he is now a Super Saiyan.
I'm becoming what you fear most, a Super Saiyan!
Your lies are beginning to lose character, and you are starting to get on my nerves.
And finally, with one well-placed Gallic gun, Cyberbam Bomb, Rebellion Blaster, whatever else, Frieza is defeated. Just in time too, as they didn't give him a chance to transform. Frieza can't believe he's been beaten by a rotten little monkey and drops dead. Vegeta laughs at his final victory and declares himself as the new Emperor of the universe. The ending narration shows the Saiyans all fighting together at the same time, bouncing Frieza between each other until finally Vegeta kills him. We then see as Cybermen keep killing themselves over and over again to beat the human Z-Fighters. Having overthrown Frieza and taken back their freedom, the Saiyans stepped into the place of Frieza and gained rule over the entire universe. Still to this day, the cries of the dying innocent echo through the universe in vain. What a great line. And that was our first What If. A fun one. There is something really charming about how Tenkaichi 1 tries to use its very limited resources to try and tell a story, mostly through implication. Things like Frieza speaking as though he's been fighting the other Saiyans, or the story implying that the Saiyans conquered Earth by only showing the humans being killed by Cybermen, and using footage from different fights to give the illusion that the Saiyans were fighting Frieza together. It's a little clunky, but I thought it was awesome as a kid, and we'll see a lot more of that as we continue. The Cosmic Emperor. What if Frieza won? The sadistic Frieza controls numerous worlds in his fearsome grip. With endless ambitions of destruction, he uses his cronies to spread his evil throughout the universe. Upon learning about the existence of the Dragonballs, Frieza returns to planet Namek, where he aims to wish himself eternally young. That's actually not Frieza's wish, that's King Piccolo's, but okay. Thus, we pick up from the fight between Vegeta and Final Form Frieza. Only this time, Frieza starts off by using 100% of his power. Vegeta cannot believe it, so much stronger than he could have dreamt, and Frieza encourages him to let it all out. Vegeta says that he's the prince of all Saiyans, as if he's trying to convince himself. But Frieza is ruthless, and he doesn't hold back, neither in attacks nor words. Vegeta realizes that Frieza is toying with him,
As though I were a helpless child.
calling him a monster. Vegeta dies. With Vegeta's death, Goku arrives to face Frieza. The Emperor laughs, and even Goku has to admit how crazy his power is. It's a privilege to see Frieza in his ultimate form, and while Goku's nervous, he's also excited to fight.
But still, I'm not going to lose.
If my mere appearance isn't enough to inspire terror, allow me to show you what I can do.
But Frieza's 100% power is too much, and Goku ends up badly hurt. Stepping back from the fight, Krillin and the others try to escape, to at least live to fight another day. But there's really nothing they can do, and Frieza catches up to them.
What am I supposed to do against this guy? There's no way I can win!
The Emperor's happy to see him scared, and he's gonna have some fun with him and kill him. Krillin does everything he can, fighting like never before, but it's obvious that it's over. Lamenting the fact that he'll never get married, Krillin dies. With his best friend's death, Goku explodes into Super Saiyan. Frieza's in awe.
I am the hope of the universe! I am Super Saiyan Goku!
Frieza goes all out, and the fight begins. But having already damaged Goku enough, and not having been hurt too badly himself, Frieza is at a huge advantage. Goku curses his fate, unable to move. He now sees Frieza as the true monster he is. The final cutscene is a bit weird, because it shows Ginyu switching bodies with Krillin, then using the solar flare on Goku, and that's how Frieza gets a clean shot in to kill him. Afterwards, Frieza traveled to Earth, where he pierced through Trunks with a death beam. Though how Trunks was born in the future if everyone ended up dead on Namek, I'm not sure. While Frieza managed to dispose of the Saiyans, who kept him from his goal of eternal youth, his anger was returned to the rest of the universe, and he will surely make them feel his power. Still to this day, the cries of the dying innocent echo through the universe in vain. Hey, wait a minute. They said that in the last one too. But there is one more mission in this what if, as Cooler appears to challenge his brother. On Earth, after killing Trunks, the older cold brother visits his younger one, attempting to claim the universe for himself and gain respect. But Frieza tells him to beat it, that there's only room for one emperor.
Now is that the way to talk to your older brother? I hope you're only joking, because you'd be insane to challenge me.
Cooler thinks it's a mere joke that Frieza is attempting to challenge him. Frieza laughs. Just because Cooler can transform an extra time compared to him, doesn't mean he's above Frieza. Cooler scoffs and threatens to rub Frieza out.
I'll rub you out!
Do your worst!
Whatever that means. Frieza welcomes the challenge, and the Brothers of Evil clash. Clearly, Frieza did like 2 push-ups after his battles on Namek, because he defeats Cooler, who thinks it's impossible. How could he be beaten by his kid brother? Still, Cooler calls him soft because Frieza didn't end up killing him. But as his brother drops to the ground, Frieza reveals why he left him alive, to rub it in. His final transformation is nothing special, and now he can enjoy bossing Cooler around for a change. Frieza's rule over the universe will continue, with Cooler under him, and Krillin Ginyu, I guess. At the rate he was moving, I wonder if he'll leave any human behind. But if he does, then Cell and the androids will only be stronger. Maybe he can take them on, if he decides to train. Then no one will ever be able to challenge him, at least not for a long, long time. The true ultimate android. What if Gero won? Next up is the bad ending of the Cell arc. This one is interesting because despite talking about how Gero remains alive, it is entirely focused on his creation instead, Cell. The former Red Ribbon scientist, Dr. Gero, determined to get his revenge against Goku, worked endlessly to create the ultimate android. The story begins with Perfect Cell facing off against Super Trunks, but this happens before the Super Vegeta fight. What likely happened here for the change is that Gero survived 17 and 18's escape, and hid away until he realized that Future Cell had appeared, now that he had the perfect weapon he needed to get revenge. Together, they continued their evil machinations. Cell then made it to 18 fast enough to absorb her, ignoring everyone else. Angered by his power increase, Trunks rushed in to attack. Cell is taken aback by Trunks' incredible power and physical change. He's almost unrecognizable, but these threats don't scare Cell, who's eager to test out his new perfect form.
Simple words from a simple man.
Once Cell defeats Trunks, in the original story, just like here, Trunks says that since he failed, he does not deserve to live.
I failed. I don't deserve to live.
Pretty dark, and we don't see what happens with him after. But Vegeta zooms in to try and stop Cell. Super Vegeta thinks he's powerful enough. At the very least, he has speed over Trunks. And Vegeta thinks that he was right about the android. Despite the perfect form, he still isn't impressive. But Cell says that he just needs to warm up a bit, which Vegeta could surely help with.
Then you'll be dead before the fight even begins. If you say so.
But just like with his son before him, Vegeta stands no chance against perfection itself. And so, Vegeta realizes his failure.
I failed. I don't deserve to live.
Yeah. For whatever reason, Cell beats up all the Z-Fighters so bad that they just end up not wanting to live anymore. But maybe Cell took pity on Vegeta since the next battle is still at the Cell games. Goku is the first one up to bat, as Cell waits in the center. Cell allows Goku to make the first move, looking forward to what will surely be the best battle ever. Goku promises not to disappoint Cell, but Cell wins, and Goku too gives up on life.
I failed. I don't deserve to live.
Seriously, how badly is Cell hurting these guys? Seeing his father in utter despair, Gohan achieves Super Saiyan 2, and probably blows up Cell, because we're Super Perfect Cell now. Gohan is worried. This is much worse than before, now that Cell's power has increased so much. Tired of the many battles, Cell claims that he'll destroy the planet, but not with a Kamehameha. The mission here is defeating Gohan with a Super Spirit Bomb, made up of Earth's stupid energy.
Okay, planet, give me that stupid energy.
But I guess he got cold feet, because he doesn't actually blow it up. As Gohan realizes there's nothing more he can do, you guessed it, resigns on life.
I failed. I don't deserve to live.
The final cutscene shows how Cell kills the heroes. A power burst destroys Goku, and a father-son Kamehameha with a Cell Jr. kills Gohan. What's more, we see that Gero is indeed alive. At long last, Dr. Gero had killed Goku, his sworn enemy, and fulfilled his destiny. But his research did not end there. With ever-growing ambitions, the Doctor began to assemble the cells of even stronger warriors. This leads us to the epilogue of the What If. In the middle of a city, Dr. Gero releases a new warrior to show that he can indeed improve on perfection. None other than Super 17. Cell laughs at the mere notion that Super 17 could be considered the ultimate android, especially when he's just a simple part of him. 17 doesn't even recognize Cell, which the perfect android takes offense to. He is Cell, the real ultimate android, while Super 17 is just a mistake. 17 claims that he will be the one to destroy Goku, despite the fact that we just killed him, so did he come back somehow? Maybe he just isn't up to date. He calls Cell a defective product. But Cell wants to show how perfect his perfect form truly is. He just can't talk to him like that. The battle begins. But through it, 17's systems begin to malfunction, and he can't even move by the end of it. Weirdly, here we get the implication that this Super 17 is only made up of one android, rather than two like in GT.
This is what happens with the other 17 Con, isn't it? I must be imperfect as well.
More than likely, Cell's explosion at the Cell games killed the original, and without him, Gero just created Super as a standalone model, who ended up lacking without his other half. Super 17 is defeated, but Cell just laughs at his poor excuse, even mocking the title of Super 17. Cell claims that he will be the one to kill Goku, no one else, so I guess he did come back, and is out there training to save Earth after it's been taken over by the Red Ribbon Army. Maybe those few warriors that remain alive fled to planet Namek and asked for help from the new Guardian. And now, Goku must power himself up to Super Saiyan 2, and perhaps even 3, before returning to Earth, to once again challenge Cell.
Now, be a good little android and take a hike!
And this What If comes to an end. The Destructive Majin. What if Buu won? Next up is one that gets kinda sad. The Buu saga has some sad themes to it despite the fun tone, from Buu killing damn near everyone on Earth to Vegeta's death. And this What If is fully aware of that. Buu was born from the evil wizard Babidi, and was the most powerful of the Majin. He had a most simple goal, to spread destruction and death in every way he could, as we pick up with Buu going around destroying cities. But Vegeta interrupts his fun. However, this isn't Majin Vegeta who is supposed to face Buu. Instead, it's just regular Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, who finds Buu in a field. Seems like, although Vegeta rejected the Majin power, the Tree of Saiyans was unable to stop Buu's birth. I could see Goku and Vegeta fighting regardless, with Vegeta wanting to prove his worth right away without any Majin power. While Gohan and Shin tried to stop Babidi, Goku and Vegeta agreed to stop and travel together after Buu, and Vegeta is the first one to step up. Vegeta calls out Buu, who thinks it's just someone wanting to play.
If by play you mean kill, then yes, I'm your man.
This makes Buu mad, and promises to kill Vegeta, who just calls Buu Tubby. But as per usual, Vegeta has underestimated his opponent. Hurt, Vegeta realizes that he can't win, that Buu is not just strong, but immortal, and that it's all doomed. Buu then makes his way to the desert, or perhaps Goku led him there, transforming into Super Saiyan 3. Boo calls Goku Mr. Scary Face Man and says that Boo isn't scared because he's brave. Goku isn't playing around, as Boo has caused too much destruction as is. Goku doesn't have too much time left on Earth, so rather than let Boo talk about how much he wants to kill him, Goku goes in for an attack, only to have his power as Super Saiyan 3 utterly fail. Apparently, Boo got a lot more energy than he needed to be able to do that. Goku admits that despite his appearance, Boo is an incredible fighter. Goku can only hope that there's someone out there to stop Boo.
Someone has to stop him!
And sometime later, they appear. Looks like we've been continuing as normal, since now Gotenks faces Super Boo by the cliffside. The Grim Reaper of Justice is more than happy to beat Boo, introducing himself as Super Gotenks. Yet, Boo just thinks that he's weird.
You weird.
And is annoyed about being bothered. Gotenks vs. Balloon Butt begins.
I'd like to see you give it a shot, Balloon Butt!
And not even a few Super Saiyan 3 can deal with the transformed monster. Gotenks cries out, realizing that if he doesn't win, then Earth really is done for. This Super Boo doesn't even bother absorbing his victims, and remains in base. All the while, from Otherworld, Vegeta and Goku return, using the sacred Potaro earrings to become Vegito. Notice how we skip the Gohan fight, so maybe he really died in this dimension? At the islands, the fusion challenges Boo, who recognizes the Saiyan from Goku and Vegeta's smell.
Ha! They've got nothing on me! Bring it on and I'll show you!
Super Boo just kinda wants to be left alone though, and since he's being annoyed, he attacks. Vegito is cocky, a mistake that will be his undoing. With no Gotenks, Gohan, nor Piccolo absorbed, Super Boo defeats Vegito. He can't believe it, and admits that there's nothing else he can do.
The Earth's in real trouble if this keeps up.
The end cutscene shows Boo defeating the Z-Fighters and unleashing the human extermination attack. With that, Boo finishes off what was left, including his friend Mr. Satan. Having destroyed every last living person on Earth, Majin Buu was delighted with himself, until a certain realization of loneliness came over him. And now the screams of Majin Buu are all that echo through the land, and there is no one to hear them. A pretty sad ending, honestly. But like the last one, there's one more story. Though this one doesn't seem to happen in the same continuity, or I guess maybe before Super Buu if you stretch it, because we're playing as Fat Buu again. This time in the middle of one of the destroyed cities. Majin Buu comes face to face with Janemba, who just communicates with grunts, and can't really answer Buu when he asks who he is. And this makes Buu mad.
I hate you! You're not fun at all! So I'll kill you!
So Buu takes on Super Janemba and defeats the monster from hell. He just laughs, calling Janemba weak, and rubs it in on his face. Buu thinks Janemba is yucky, and Buu is cool. That's pretty much it for this one. Though I did want to point out that most battles also have some dialogue if you lose the fight. Most of them aren't really worth talking about. But I kinda like this one, since if you lose this fight, Buu gets sad and talks about how he's not cool. And it kinda breaks my heart. The plan to conquer Earth. What if the villains teamed up? This is the big what if for Tenkaichi 1. After everything Goku and the others have gone through, they've made many enemies along the way, and now those same enemies have teamed up to finally destroy them. I think this is supposed to be an analog for the Super 17 arc, with multiple enemies having escaped hell, and ending with Super 17 as the big bad. Yeah, for some reason, Omega Shenron isn't in this game. Maybe that's why Super 17 wasn't in Sparking Zero at the get-go. Revenge. The Z-Fighters had saved the universe from countless evil threats, but then an evil organization conspired against them, aiming to conquer Earth. We open our story with Bojack locating Gohan up on an island, scouting the world. The space pirate comments on how Earth isn't a bad-looking planet.
Bojack! You're still alive?
Immediately, Bojack recognizes Gohan as the rotten little kid who defeated him. How lucky for him.
I can take over the Earth and satisfy my thirst for revenge at the same time!
The fight begins, but despite Gohan having ultimate, he just can't compete. It seems that all the villains had been preparing themselves for this moment. Their new League of Evil contains only powered-up versions of the villains. Next up, at the mountain range, Vegeta bursts straight towards Broly, who wasn't even bothering anyone.
Broly! Well, I'll be What is it you want with me, Vegeta?
Vegeta wants to make it clear that he's not the same man he once knew. He isn't afraid of the legendary power Broly contains, because he's far surpassed it. Or has he? Either way, Vegeta's just glad that he got to Broly before Goku could. But the prince ends up with an Omega Blaster to the face. Yet, he survives. Reluctantly, Vegeta admits that Goku must take care of the rest. But Goku himself is preoccupied with a different matter, because at the desert, Frieza has returned. But not just any Frieza, this is Mecha Frieza. I guess this follows the super rule of him staying with those mechanical parts, even in Hell. And boy did he train, because he's jumped from being killed by Trunks to facing Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Whoa, Frieza. You've certainly lost some of your looks over the years.
Likewise, my monkey friend.
I'll never get tired of their banter and chemistry. But Goku's not laughing now. He's ready to teach Frieza the lesson again and again. And Frieza is ready to be the Saiyan out of him, whatever that means. The location of Frieza's death is the perfect backdrop for this rematch. One where things go completely the opposite. Super Saiyan 3 is pitiful in comparison to Frieza. Surely, if he had just done one more push-up, he would have become Golden Mega Frieza. Sadly, Goku loses, and wonders how it came to this. He has to do something, or Earth will be lost. Goku's able to teleport away and reunite with Vegeta, where they resort to their last hope. The Fusion Dance. A new warrior is born from it, Super Gogeta, and his adversary this time, Frieza's older brother, Cooler. Looks like he took a page from his little brother's book and became even stronger than he was. I mean, to face Gogeta? Come on. The fusion tells the Cold exactly who he is. Neither Goku nor Vegeta, but the one who will destroy him.
I am not Goku nor Vegeta. I am the person who will destroy you!
Confidently, Gogeta challenges Cooler to stop talking and show him what he means exactly. So we get a movie dream match, Gogeta versus Cooler at the Plains. But not even the fusion is enough to deal with Cooler. Gogeta underestimated his opponent and was blinded by his own power, unable to see how far Cooler had grown. And here is where things get a little weird. Because despite losing as Super Gogeta to Cooler, the fusion returns, this time in the city and with Super Saiyan 4. I guess the anger at seeing his friends and family dying and his own loss pushed Gogeta further. Or maybe it was Bulma's help with the Blood Waves machine. Either way, he returns to Monkey. More than anything, this showcases the limitations of not having GT Goku and GT Vegeta in the game, since it just ends up becoming a weird mix of time periods. Anyways, Baby has shown up as one of the many revived villains. But Baby isn't impressed by Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Bigger muscles won't stop him.
I'm not the only one who's bulked up here, baby.
Baby quickly gets tired of Gogeta's constant mockery and smartmouth, and wastes no time in fighting. Side note, the city map in this game starts you off in this little tunnel section, which is so annoying, because it causes you to just end up fighting the whole match entirely here most of the time, despite the whole city being available. No wonder they changed it in the next game. Gogeta eventually admits defeat, and falls to the ground. But this is one of those parallel battles, which means that the other side of the coin is Super 17's fight against Gogeta. In the same city, Gogeta is nonchalant about the fact that 17 is back from the dead. Again. But the Saiyans don't know when they're beaten, trying the same old tricks after so many years. But really, this is the perfect battle for them.
I'm two people and you're two androids. Sounds like we're evenly matched.
You have a point. And I'll have the pleasure of sending you both to the grave at the same time.
But we know how this story ends, don't we? Neither the Big Bang Attack nor the Kamehameha can do anything against 17's absorption, and in a twisted, sad fate of reality, Gogeta dies. The epilogue shows our heroes dying under the hand of the evil organization, Baby celebrating, Cooler and Frieza hanging out, but the reign of evil is rooted in conflict, and they cannot stay allies forever. At last, the evil gang had massacred their sworn enemies, the Z-Fighters, and patted each other on the backs for it. But this was all in the moment, for there can only be one ruler over this world. This struggle for world domination would continue on endlessly. I really like this ending. Even when the villains win, it's not a true victory for anybody. We have one last main Tenkaichi 1 What If to cover. The true World Tournament. What if the World Tournament was, weird. I don't know what to call this one. More than anything, this What If is a celebration of Dragon Ball by paying homage to the original series. The only original Dragon Ball characters in this game are Tao, Pai Pai, and Goku. So the excuse is that this is a time-space tournament where Kid Goku has appeared in the present, with the beginning cutscene recreating multiple iconic scenes from those first few story arcs. We now look at an incredible battle that transcends both space and time, moving across this world and the next. The first match is Chaozu versus Tien, as the small fighter promises to give it everything he's got. These fights go really quick because of the ring out rule, and Chaozu quickly loses, with him giving up and admitting how strong Tien is. Next, we have Kid Goku versus Krillin, who's shocked to see Goku as a kid again. But Goku says that if he goes easy on him just because of that, then Krillin's gonna be walking away hurt.
Whatever you say, Goku. Let's get it on.
Goku's not holding back. They're both excited to fight, for old time's sake, but seeing Goku as a kid again made Krillin drop his guard, and he loses. Now 18's gonna kill him for not winning the tournament. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure how this tournament is supposed to work, because the next match is Chaozu again versus Tao Pai Pai, despite Chaozu having already lost. But this is another parallel battle, where the other half is Tien.
If it isn't the creepy little one, this is just fun. I can kill you while I'm warming up.
Tao is looking forward to killing these two traitors, but Chaozu is so much stronger than he was before. He promises to do his best and wins. Tao begs for his life after the match, while on Tien's side, Tao calls Tien a traitor, while Tien himself remains respectful to his master's brother. But Tao has no idea just what Tien has gone through ever since he left the Crane School, and just like with Chaozu, Tao begs for his life.
Please forgive me.
Then it's Roshi versus Krillin. Master Roshi comments on how it's been a long time since he fought Krillin, but Krillin's confused. They've never actually battled. This is because, as far as Krillin knows, Jackie Chun and Roshi really were two completely different people. So Roshi covers it up by saying, he just meant training purposes when he was a kid.
Oh, yeah. And I thought you were just getting a bit senile.
The two get ready to go all out, but this is in Dragon Ball Super, so Master Roshi really has no chance of winning. And my boy Krillin gets the victory, and Roshi is happy to see how much stronger his student has gotten. But Roshi isn't done yet, because he still has to fight his star pupil. Kid Goku is ready to battle. He wants to go all out right away, but this makes Roshi nervous.
You idiot! You don't have to get so worked up!
Especially because Roshi was hoping to make a grand comeback after being out of the spotlight for so long. The original Kamehameha shows Goku off, and after a hard-fought match, Roshi actually wins. How Krillin lost to Kid Goku, but Kid Goku lost to Roshi is beyond me. The old master is happy that he could finally be really making his comeback, but if he's so sure, then maybe Goku should start using his real power instead. Roshi regrets having said anything.
Maybe I should stay retired.
Goku stays in, however, as Tao comes across him, eyes burning with revenge. Goku recognizes him as the bad guy he beat, while Tao promises to squeeze the life out of him. Goku's annoyed that he hasn't learned his lesson, and Tao just sees Goku as a little brat that needs to die. And this time, Tao actually wins, but only because Goku was way too hungry after so many matches. The assassin celebrates, but Goku tells him that if he gets something to eat, then he can come back and beat him with full power. And this actually scares Tao, who leaves before Goku can find a snack. I mentioned how stories have alternate dialogue if you lose, and this is one of my favorites, since Tao was planning on using a grenade after pretending to give up. But Goku sees right through him and warns him not to do that again.
You're not planning on tossing any more grenades, right?
With all those matches out of the way, it's time for the final big battle. And what better way to end it than with the final battle of the original anime, Piccolo versus Goku at the World Tournament. Albeit, this is Kid Goku and Good Piccolo, who's confused at seeing him young. Goku says that it was time to teach him a lesson for old time's sake.
I'm not necessarily proud of those old days, but it sure would be fun to win this time.
You're looking a bit green. Are you making sure you're getting enough to eat?
That's how I'm supposed to look. Now I really want to beat this guy.
The fight starts. Hopefully this time they won't destroy the arena, and by the end of it, Piccolo wins. Of course, this Piccolo is leagues ahead of where Goku is, but beyond that, Goku can't tell he's not the evil he used to be. He can't sense any malice in his heart. Piccolo just says that Goku's given him the creeps, which I don't really like as an ending. Seems a little weird for Piccolo to say that. And I actually think the dialogue where Piccolo loses fits far better.
I can tell. You weren't at all serious against me, were you?
Actually, I was. Sad thing is that I've changed a lot since then.
You're sure about that? Oh well. Let's fight again sometime, Piccolo.
He's as easygoing as ever.
And that was the final match. The epilogue is a nice send-off, with a tribute referencing the end of the manga, and the video showing various battles through the series. The fight is over. However, as long as there are those who love this world, the Dragon Balls will continue to shine, and the story of Goku and his friends will continue to be told forever. Which is nice, a little reference to the end of the manga. Those were the big what-ifs of Tenkaichi 1, but within the normal story arcs, you could unlock smaller what-if stories too. So let's go over those. What if Ozaru Gohan battled Ozaru Vegeta? The first of these smaller what-ifs happens during the battle against Ozaru Vegeta in the Saiyan arc. Basically, what if they fought fire with fire, since we take control of the basic Ozaru to fight the prince. Instead of the heroes cutting Vegeta's tail off, Gohan's tail regrows sooner than in the original story, and with that, he's able to look at Vegeta's artificial moon and transform. The two great apes come face to face against each other. Vegeta says that even if the heroes have the power of the Ozaru at their disposal, it doesn't hold a candle to him. Of course, our monkey can only growl, while Vegeta just starts monologuing to himself about how taking the same form doesn't mean anything, since he's just a foolish low-class warrior. Through his growls, it's clear that Gohan at least understands a little bit of what Vegeta is saying, but he's still no better than a normal monkey. The fight starts. I had forgotten how slow and clunky the giants were in the first game, but through the miracle of being controlled by the player, the senseless Ozaru actually defeats Vegeta. The prince is left speechless. How could he lose to a low-class Saiyan? And then he interprets the nonsense noises he makes as insults.
Now, mock me. How miserable.
And dies. While Gohan falls asleep, still losing with more dignity than having a naked kid land on him. What if Bardock changed the future? This next one is curious because it's not labeled as a what if in the game, but it essentially is. This is the Bardock special level, and we have the usual stuff. Battle Dodoria, then battle Frieza. The thing is, since you are Bardock, you win. First against Dodoria, who can't believe that he's been bested by a Saiyan.
Stop jerking me around!
And then Bardock makes his way to Frieza, where he declares that this is the end, and immediately fights. Once you win, we get this fun little cutscene where first form Frieza dies, Bardock stomps on him, and poses. That's it. The epilogue tells us that after changing the future, Bardock traveled through the universe, finding a new opponent to battle. But this story does have one real what if. Bardock vs. Goku, following the losing ending, right before Bardock dies. He's gifted with a vision where he finds Goku and Namek. Bardock recognizes Kakarot, the rebel Saiyan thanks the Kanasans for the gift, and is excited to challenge Goku, a great gift, before he moves on to other worlds. Despite Goku's hesitation, the fight begins. What's funny is that Bardock winning is once again the wrong ending. If you win as him, then Bardock just leaves disappointed and admits that Kakarot's not on the level he should be to defeat Frieza, even if he is strong, calling it a mistake.
But if the power level he's showing today is the best he has, then I'm afraid it was a mistake.
All while Goku is just confused the entire time. But if you lose, then he actually ends up happy and welcomes Otherworld, knowing his son will take care of business. It's just funny that, since the game is insistent on the player always being the victor, this is the one story where it becomes a what if without being labeled as such. Chaozu vs. Goldo. What if the psychics fought? This might be my favorite what if on the whole, just because of how funny it is. In the anime, the dead Ginyu Force members make their way to King Kai's planet and fight the dead Z fighters. Of course, Goldo is paired with Chaozu. It seems like this story takes inspiration from that filler. But on Namek, let's just say that in this story, the only other person to have survived the Saiyans was Chaozu. The short man flies in. While Goldo poses with an empty expression, Goldo asks him what he wants, saying that Chaozu has a weird-looking face. That was his first mistake.
You're disgusting! Your breath stinks! Ew!
This whole thing is basically just Chaozu insulting the Frogman. Goldo is extremely offended, but he doubles down by calling Chaozu a runt, only for him to go even harder.
You're a runt too, and you're fat! And I think I'm a lot better looking.
Goldo has heard enough. and promises to make him cry. But this is Phase Chaozu. He can Dodonpa you from across the map and throw rocks at you. Goldo is completely caught off guard by the fact that they have similar abilities, so much so that it seems like he forgot that he can stop time. Goldo falls, but Chaozu isn't done yet.
You really are disgusting, and your breath stinks! Gross!
Goldo comments on how this kid is really annoying him and passes out, while Chaozu looks onto the sky, hoping that Tien will congratulate him for his very first victory. How sweet. Let's look at the alternate ending, because if you lose, Chaozu still doesn't stop. He apologizes to Tien for losing, but that's what the little brat gets for making fun of the mighty Goldo. But with the last of his breath, Chaozu covers his nose and begs Goldo to stop talking.
Don't talk!
So Goldo just breathes on his face over and over again. How charming. Anyways, on to the final what if of Tenkaichi 1. Future Super Warrior. What if Future Trunks battled Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? What? Sadly, the Buu Saga and Cell Sagas don't have any what ifs, but Future Trunks' epilogue does. And it doesn't even try to make sense. But that's okay, because it's cool. At the World Tournament, Super Saiyan Trunks casually asks,
You are Gogeta, right?
because he just knows his name somehow. But maybe this is like Xeno Trunks, who knows? Either way, he's amazed that Vegeta and Goku could combine forces in such a way. Gogeta says they can catch up some other time. First, battle. Trunks says that this is the reason he came, so it makes me wonder if he time traveled to GT just to see this fusion. With their Saiyan blood eager to fight, the match begins. But this Trunks has read up on the GT Perfect files, and has trained so much as to push Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta to the limit, by ring out, probably. Gogeta admits defeat, congratulating Trunks for how strong he's gotten, and the future warrior instantly recognizes Goku's sentiment coming through, though he admits that if the fusion was serious, then the planet would be gone, but he's being far too humble.
You're so modest. You really annoy me.
Oh, hi, Father.
If he loses though, Gogeta chastises Trunks for not trying to kill him, and that he'll retrain him. Maybe this Trunks will have better luck against Goku Black. With that final tournament battle, we close out the what-ifs from Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 1. The framework for what would become a great game was there, though it was still very rough around the edges. Thankfully, we wouldn't have to wait very long for the true evolution, as Sparking Neo would be released in 2006. Faithful Brothers. What if Raditz hit his head and turned good? Raditz has always been a potential man in the Dragon Ball fandom, with many wondering why Goku's brother was only in the story for a short amount of time. While the main answer to this is that he filled the perfect role to set up the next phase of the franchise, it is interesting to think about what could have been. And this what if gives us a fantastic glimpse into what it could have looked like.
The Saiyans worked as planet brokers for the evil tyrant Frieza. In this capacity, Raditz came to Earth, but in the battle with Piccolo, his memory was lost. His mission forgotten, the Saiyan soon found himself enjoying the company of his new family. Now, with his memory slowly returning, Raditz has been thrown into turmoil. And with the threat of Vegeta and Nappa's arrival looming ever closer, he must at last make a choice.
The story starts with Raditz already heavily injured from an attack by Piccolo, due to letting his guard down. Perhaps in this timeline, Piccolo was able to hit him with a special beam cannon while Raditz underestimated it. Regardless of how it happened, Raditz is pushed to spawn a Cyberman to defend himself.
Be careful. They're even more vicious than they look.
What? What are they?
You're able to fight as both a Cyberman and Raditz against Piccolo, who somehow is able to match and hold off the onslaught. Must have been a weaker batch of soil.
Is that all you've got?
The Cybermen turned towards Raditz instead of Piccolo though, and prepared to self-destruct, taking the Saiyan down. Either a bad batch, or there really was something wrong with the soil. Raditz is beaten by his own Cybermen, a fitting fate given how their power is compared to him in the main series. Piccolo leaves, assuming him to be dead, and Raditz is left unconscious for an unknown period of time. When he awakes, he has no memory of who he is, or where he came from. Just like his younger brother, Raditz has suffered a devastating head wound, leaving his memories scattered in his mind. With no idea of what to do next, the Saiyan began to wander the Earth, eventually stumbling upon Kame House, perhaps subconsciously following a reading the scouter picked up. Just like in the main series, he finds Goku having a reunion with his friends and introducing them to Gohan, but this time, Raditz has no idea what any of this means.
What? Father?
Huh?
Father? You mean Goku?
So, you're still alive.
From Krillin's perspective, this entire sequence of events is insane. Goku had already dropped a son, so someone else showing up and calling Goku dad must have been quite a shock, especially when he looks older than he is. But Piccolo is unfazed and wants to finish the job and kill Raditz, while the confused Saiyan looks on in fear. It's actually kinda sad to see this. So Goku faces off against Piccolo to defend Raditz. Not the scenario either of them imagined for a rematch, I'm sure. Piccolo doesn't stick around for long though, knowing that with his wounds, and with Goku having help, he's at a major disadvantage. So after Piccolo leaves, Goku's brotherly instincts kick in, and he goes in to check on Raditz.
Hey, are you okay? Don't worry, I'll get him back someday.
Bardock?
Hey, Goku. I think he's lost his memory.
We'll let him rest a bit. It'll come back to him sooner or later.
Krillin can't believe how laid-back Goku is, but trust his judgment. Raditz gets to enjoy some beach time relaxation and heal from his injuries at Kame House. I wonder how Roshi felt about having a stranger sleeping on his couch and interrupting his workout videos. After recovering, Raditz would spend his days alongside Goku and Gohan, training constantly and being completely unaware that they were siblings. Raditz was shocked at how strong he really was.
Unbelievable! Why do I have such power?
I guess the next time a bad guy comes along, you'll be able to take care of yourself.
You think so?
Then, right on cue, Piccolo shows up, ready to take out Raditz permanently. It's kinda hilarious that he left Goku alone for so many years, but he really wants to kill Raditz.
Don't let him scare you! You can take him! You're not a weakling anymore, remember?
But hearing the word weakling seems to have triggered something in Raditz's own memories.
I'm Raditz, and I'm no weakling!
As he jumps in to battle Piccolo, with his training under Goku and his own latent power, Raditz recovers his full strength and is able to take down Piccolo on his own.
Incredible! I did it! I did it, Kakarot! I won!
Yeah, but my name's Goku though.
But as he goes in for the finishing blow, Goku stops him. Raditz argues that it's kill or be killed, but Goku has a different outlook.
Is that what you really think? If you act like that, you're no better than he is.
You're right. It's as you say, Goku. I shouldn't abuse my power.
Piccolo leaves while they make up, and peace resumes for many months, with Raditz still not recovering his memories. One day, he goes on to train with Gohan, and Gohan notices something he probably should have a lot earlier.
Hey, Mr. Raditz, you have a tail, just like me.
Which is funny, seeing how Gohan in this game doesn't have a design with a tail.
Yeah, so I heard that my dad used to have one too. We're like the same.
That reminds me of something.
Hey, are you okay?
I'm fine. Okay, time to train, Gohan.
And through the fight, Raditz manages to recover some of his memories fighting against him. I want to note how good the performance here is from Justin Cook. He makes the memory returning sound extremely painful and adds a lot of depth to the script. The training goes off plan as Raditz's memories surge through him and he hits Gohan with his full might. Raditz's memories flow through him and at last he understands everything. Really bad timing, since Gohan was being pretty understanding about the whole thing.
I remember now. Kakarot and I, you, we're all Saiyans.
What's wrong?
So with that, Raditz quickly speeds off to find Goku and runs into him training by himself in the wasteland, telling his brother the entire story.
But I'd rather die than kill innocent people and try to rule the world.
In that case, you leave me no choice.
The battle starts, and Goku is completely overpowered by the reborn Raditz. But this time, Raditz doesn't finish the job he can't bring himself to. An emotional conflict, where you can really see the two sides of Raditz's life fighting against each other, and Goku tries to get through to him.
There's nothing to be gained by killing people! You should understand that by now!
I am a Saiyan! I will not give up my pride so easily.
Excellent stuff. That's cut short by Raditz flying away to clear his mind. Alone, Raditz thinks about everything that's happened, the feelings within him, kindness, compassion, trust, completely alien concepts to the life of pure survival and conquest he'd lived up until this point.
Bardock! Father! What have I done?
But before we can hear more of Raditz's introspection, he receives a message from Vegeta telling him that he's on his way to Earth to secure the Dragon Balls.
What? Vegeta was listening to a conversation. Those two are coming to Earth.
There you are. This time I'm gonna beat you, and then nothing will stand between me and Goku.
Raditz has another match with Piccolo, who has become basically his rival during the story. An interesting dynamic, given how they meet each other before he meets Goku. Unfortunately for Piccolo, Raditz is still way too powerful for him to defeat, and easily beats him down. He explains how he was going easy on the Namekian, and he isn't even worth killing, or so he wants Piccolo to believe. Either he's leaving him alive for the Dragon Balls, or his heart has truly been changing. Raditz tells Piccolo about the incoming Saiyans, this time without actively dying like he did in the main series. With this info dump done, he heads out again, as the stakes of the story increase dramatically. He begins to actively attack Earth, in unpopulated areas though, which really shows what he's about. Still, this is enough to get the attention of Goku, Piccolo, and their makeshift allies, who seek him out.
Fine. Come on then, show me what you've got!
The battle begins, and the difficulty ramps up, as now you have to take down Goku, Piccolo, and Krillin. Luckily, Raditz has a solid moveset, and can endure their onslaught, at least for a little while. Goku eventually brings him to the brink of defeat, and gives him one last warning.
Accept your fate, Raditz! It's not over. You may have beaten me, but you'll never stand up to Prince Vegeta!
With Goku distracted, Raditz manages to grab Gohan in the chaos and make a last-minute escape. Funny enough, if you paid close attention to the cutscene, Krillin is completely unconscious on the ground. Maybe Raditz went a little too hard on him, like he did in canon. Raditz hides out on an island to try and recover, but his wounds are pretty severe. It looks like the battles against him have helped increase everyone's power.
Uncle Raditz, why do you have to be so mean? You're not a bad guy. I know you're not.
Because I'm a Saiyan, this is punishment for our sins.
With Goku arriving on the island, another fight breaks out. What's interesting is Raditz's line about this being punishment for their sin. Is he just trying to seek an end, given everything he's done? Or does he think the Saiyans as a whole don't deserve a chance to be happy, and must play out the role given to them by fate until the very end? Whatever the case, Goku uses his anger to finally surpass Raditz, and take him down all by himself, the youngest brother becoming the victor.
I used to think power was everything, but I see now. I didn't know what true strength was. Caring for the weak and fighting to protect something that is true strength. Isn't it, Kakarot?
Wait, you mean...
Before he can answer, Raditz falls on the ground, unconscious. In his mind, he recalls everything he's done during his time on Earth, and the warm memories he's gained in place of his old ones. Again, his mind drifts to the most important person in his life, his father.
They're going to call me a low-class warrior. A weakling. Again.
In a moment that gets me choked up, Bardock appears and tells Raditz that there's nothing to be afraid of. The cycle of pain can end here, and he doesn't need to be scared of what others think about him anymore.
Father, I miss you.
As a gift, you may have a match with me. Come, Raditz!
And though it is only a dream, Raditz got to show his father the man he had grown into, sparring with him, and no longer feeling fear. He wasn't a weakling. He wasn't a low class. He was Raditz, son of Bardock, and that's all he really needed to be. The battle is fierce, but eventually Raditz is able to wake up from this dream, and with it done, there was a nightmare still to face. After he woke up, Raditz tried to warn his brother once again.
Huh? A monster?
Kakarot, please, for the sake of your father and brother, defend the pride of the Saiyan race.
And so, Raditz leaves again, this time returning to a space pod and leaving Earth entirely, but not to flee. This time, he'd face his fears head-on. In an epic scene that sadly doesn't have a visual, Raditz actually crashes his pod into Vegeta and Nappa's ship, destroying all of them in a flash of light, ending the threat of the Saiyans. Did he do this out of revenge, or perhaps as a last expression of love to show his younger brother? Could they have beaten the Saiyans if he stayed? Would Raditz ever be able to overcome his demons?
Only Raditz knows for sure.
What an ending for a fantastic What If. It's popular for a reason, and I hope that one day we see another game or piece of Dragon Ball media explore a story of Goku's lost older brother. Though the future of this is curious. They'll never go to Namek, probably never meet Frieza or unlock Super Saiyan, but the androids will still show up, and without the gains of Namek, maybe things aren't as happy as they seem. Beautiful treachery. What if Zarbon betrayed Frieza? This may be one of the most unique Dragon Ball stories ever, because it takes a fairly inconsequential character and finds a way to give him a surprisingly compelling tale of pride and revenge. This is the story of Zarbon, and how, for a very brief time, in a single What If, he became truly beautiful.
For many years, Zarbon has served faithfully as Frieza's right-hand man. But after learning of the Dragon Ball's power, he now desires his own wish. Thinking nothing of the consequences, he has freed himself of Frieza's terrible control and begun his own selfish quest for eternal beauty. Zarbon's pursuit of beauty knows no bounds, and as a result, his destiny will be changed forever.
The split from the usual events happens when Zarbon arrives to aid Dodoria against Gohan and Krillin, berating his comrade for struggling against them. Zarbon then asks a question that will change everything.
You must be from Earth. Why did you come here?
Why would we tell you? We better get moving, Gohan!
The fight begins, and you're able to have Dodoria and Zarbon on the same team against the Earthlings, a rare showcase of them actually fighting together as a duo. Zarbon has a pretty good moveset, and nice combo strings, so despite being a weaker character, he's actually fun to run a gauntlet with. Against both Dodoria and Zarbon, the heroes are completely outmatched and are captured. Interestingly though, they don't bring them back to Frieza, instead choosing to interrogate the Earthlings on their own. Zarbon asks them about Vegeta, and Krillin is left with no choice but to try and look for the Saiyan's energy.
Okay, we'll find him.
The idea of forcing someone else to sense ki for you is pretty interesting, and I think this is the only time this has happened. Zarbon and his group find Vegeta, and catch the prince completely by surprise.
Zarbon? But how? Too bad, Vegeta. Thanks to the Earthlings, finding you was easy.
I hope you're ready, you stupid monkey.
Ha! Do you intend to live in Frieza's shadow forever? With the Dragon Balls, even you dimwits could rule the universe.
Vegeta's comments leave Dodoria and Zarbon stunned for a moment, but they still decide to fight him. Interestingly though, Krillin is playable for this battle, letting the Earthling get some revenge on Vegeta for what happened back on Earth. The Saiyan Prince fights well, but he's no match for their combined power. Standing over the slain Vegeta, Zarbon and Dodoria consider his words to them.
Although, he did make a good point. We could use the Dragon Balls to take over.
Eternal life and eternal beauty?
Huh? What's wrong, Zarbon?
Dodoria notices Zarbon deep in thought and asks what's wrong, but Zarbon plays it off, telling him to resume their hunt for the Dragon Balls. Krillin is still beside them, and they continue to use his energy sensing to find the rest of the Dragon Balls. A really tragic situation for Krillin to be in, that I never really considered when I first played this.
Good work, Zarbon. That's the last of the Dragon Balls.
I'm sorry, but it's time for you to die.
Zarbon makes his move, now that they have the rest of the hidden Dragon Balls, and fights Dodoria. The implication is that the sneak attack allowed Zarbon to take him down without much trouble at all, despite their power levels being fairly close. With Dodoria dead, Zarbon reveals his true goal.
With this and the others in Frieza's possession, we'll have all 7 Dragon Balls. Eternal youth and beauty will be mine. This beautiful face and body will last forever.
Here, we get to see Zarbon's intellect at work, as he makes a plan to steal the Dragon Balls Frieza already has, without needing to fight the Emperor at all. He arrives and gives Frieza a crazy bombshell.
What? My brother Cooler is coming here? To planet Namek?
Yes, sir. It seems he has somehow learned of the Dragon Balls and plans to usurp you.
A pretty genius move from Zarbon to contact Cooler on his own, letting the brothers face off while he reaps the rewards. A Kui lookalike appears as a messenger working for Cooler. I wonder if the game devs had made the rest of the Cooler Armored Squad, who they would have chosen for this role. Maybe Naze? Zarbon easily dispatches the messenger, and then asks Frieza what their next move is.
You'll need power to deal with Cooler. Call the Ginyu Force.
But Zarbon ignores Frieza's command and makes his way to Cooler's ship to continue his master plan. While flying there, he comes into contact with Salsa.
You're Salsa!
Zarbon, the soldier Lord Cooler sent hasn't returned. What's going on?
Lord Frieza is dealing with him. Shall I inform Lord Cooler?
Zarbon! How dare you!
Dodoria survived, as Zarbon's web of lies grows deeper. The dangers around him keep growing. This section of the story is so interesting, as it plays off more like a political drama than a Dragon Ball story. Dodoria logs in like never before, showing a level of willpower no one expected him to have. Despite considering the Dragon Balls, it seems like Dodoria truly is loyal to Frieza, which can't be said for Zarbon. An interesting dynamic given that Zarbon is the one normally seen as closer to Frieza. The battle ends, and Zarbon makes sure Dodoria is dead for good this time, before moving on to the next step of the plan.
I'll keep an eye on Frieza. I'll contact you as soon as he makes his move.
This play allows all the pieces to move as Zarbon wants them to, acting like a chess master. Namek seems to be the battleground that brings out the most cunning strategies from people. The Ginyu Force arrive, and Frieza begins his attack on Cooler. With the most powerful warriors distracted, Zarbon wanted to use this chance to make his move, but accidentally runs into Goldo.
Shut up, you lazy fool! I can't stand your stench!
What? How dare you!
Zarbon's desire for beauty seemingly backfires as he enters into a fight with Goldo. A nice moment to show that, while he has been moving extremely strategically, he still has a fundamental flaw. He has both beauty and ugliness inside of him, and it's the root of this obsession. He defeats Goldo, an outcome that is possible given how much we saw him struggle with Gohan and Krillin.
Ugh, first Dodoria, now you. There really should be a ban on this sort of ugliness. As much as I detest anyone more beautiful than myself, I hate ugliness all the more, and oh, just look at you!
And he's able to take the Dragon Balls. Zarbon takes the spheres and returns to the hideout, where Krillin is waiting. I was starting to wonder what happened to him, honestly.
Sorry guys, but we've gotta do something!
Krillin makes the choice that, between Zarbon and Frieza, he'll take Zarbon, and so he asks Dende to grant his wish, summoning Purunga and giving Zarbon what he wants.
Yes! Did it work? Eternal beauty is mine!
However, they keep the last two wishes a secret, outfoxing the traitorous warrior.
Good for you, Zarbon! Good luck! Gotta go!
Krillin uses the last two wishes to revive Piccolo and then transports his group back to Earth. And just in time, as Frieza sees the dragon being summoned and arrives on the scene.
Well done, Zarbon.
Lord Frieza!
Frieza locks onto Zarbon without warning, completely enraged at his betrayal and at having lost this chance for immortality. Eternal youth doesn't mean much against Frieza's power. Immortality really would have been a better wish, but Zarbon's obsession with beauty undid all of his schemes.
His strength, it's unbelievable!
Biting the hand that feeds you? I can't believe I was fooled by such trash.
But I can't die! Eternal beauty is mine!
Fool! Appearance means nothing when you no longer exist.
Before Frieza could deliver the final blow, Goku arrived on Namek, powered up by his training in 100 times gravity.
Is that the one the Earthlings were talking about? Is that Goku?
Given how similar the events are to the canon fight with Frieza, it's easy to forget that this is all happening much earlier than in the mainline continuity. Vegeta already being dead, Piccolo revived, and Goku meeting Zarbon is a really unique chain of events.
I'm not sure what's going on, but that's the bad guy called Frieza, right?
Yes! Oh, please help me fight him!
More garbage, huh? This is really starting to irritate me.
Luck really isn't on Zarbon's side anymore. As Goku gets ready to take on Frieza, seeing Goku fight First Form Frieza has always been a dream matchup, being what the Namek saga seems to be setting up at first, and having a visual tease with that glimpse of the future Bardock had. Together, Goku and Zarbon are able to face Frieza. However, Goku can tell that this isn't even close to Frieza's peak.
Not bad, Earthling. Now perhaps you'd like to witness my true form.
Before he can transform, Frieza gets informed that Cooler is on the move and decides to focus on the bigger threat. I guess Zarbon's luck did turn. The unlikely duo make their way to Goku's ship and consider what to do next. As weird as it is to see Goku consider fleeing, given the power of Cooler and Frieza, it makes complete sense that he'd react like that. He likes a challenge, but he knows when he's outmatched. But before they can escape...
Forget it, Zarbon!
You! How dare you!
Goldo and Dodoria are still alive. Zarbon gained a lot of respect points for how well his plan went, but he really doesn't know how to make sure someone is dead. I'm surprised Vegeta isn't showing back up at this rate. Dodoria and Goldo were defeated, but Zarbon had taken far too much damage from all the battles.
Oh, I feel sick.
Hey, we gotta get going!
But before Goku could help Zarbon, he's teleported away by Shenron. Krillin back on Earth had wished to bring Goku back home safely, making the little Earthling the true MVP of this What If. Unfortunately for Zarbon, it seems his luck finally ran out. Frieza and Cooler's battle was too great, and Planet Namek couldn't handle such titanic powers fighting. Zarbon tried to board the ship before it was too late, but he didn't understand how to fly a ship based on Earthling designs.
How do I make it move? How? Oh, the planet! My beauty is going to perish!
Zarbon screams in frustration, desperate to hold on to and share his beauty for the universe to see, as the world explodes around him, vanishing into a single shining light in the void of space. Beauty is a fickle goal. It burns bright and draws all around it in. But left unchecked, the fire will destroy itself, until nothing remains of the beauty that once was, but ash. This What If is a fan favorite, and for a good reason. It tells a very tragic tale of a man with a fatal flaw, and gives us a glimpse at a different side of Dragon Ball. Zarbon does get his wish after all, as we will always remember the eternal beauty of this story. The first two What If stories focused on characters who barely get the spotlight, but the final Tenkaichi 2 What If returns to the most legendary rivalry in Dragon Ball, and shows us just what could have been if the Z Fighters played it just a bit differently. Destined Rivals. What if Goku and Vegeta got their dream rematch? The next one takes place in the Buu Saga, and is all focused on our favorite pair of rivals.
Goku has been granted 1 day to return to Earth from Otherworld, and on that day, as fate would have it, a new world tournament is to be held for the two rivals, Goku and Vegeta. This would be their last opportunity to settle the score. With nothing to hold them back, these two mighty warriors will decide once and for all which of them is the best.
The inciting incident of this timeline split is that Gohan gets a serious injury during his training with Goten, something that was entirely possible given how rusty Gohan was, and how shockingly strong Goten turned out to be. Videl decided to stay and look after him, instead of joining the tournament herself. Maybe Gohan just wanted an excuse to rest up and be with her.
Hey, Dad, do you think Gohan's okay?
Don't worry, Goten. Once he gets a senzu bean, he'll be fine.
It's his own fault. He let himself get soft.
Come on, give it a rest, Vegeta.
With that setup done, we get to see the final fight of the Youth Division play out, Goten versus Trunks. This battle I'm sure went almost exactly like it did in canon, but this time, Goten uses the motivation of his big brother to pull out the win and defeat Trunks.
Alright, I beat Trunks! Ow! What was that, Goten? Don't act like such a little kid.
We focus in on Vegeta's expression in a very cinematic camera shot before moving on to the adult division matches. Krillin defeats Pintar, as usual, and then Piccolo faces off against the Kaioshin. The fight goes off, and in a surprise turn of events, Piccolo doesn't forfeit and actually does defeat Shin. The explanation given is that his skills have improved during the time skip, but perhaps he was feeling extra motivated too after Gohan's injury, as they both struggle with their wounds. Piccolo finally realizes who Shin really is. Shin tells Piccolo why he's there, and about the threat of Majin Buu. Piccolo goes off to help Shin stop the revival of Majin Buu, an interesting choice not to include the others into the scheme. Mr. Satan vs 18 is up next, and she offers to throw the fight so he can win.
20 million zenny if I let you win. And you get to keep your fame.
All right, I'll pay.
Right. You'd better.
The battle can still be difficult given how bad Mr. Satan is in this game, but after the match, we find out that 18 had a secondary motive. If she won, she would have had to fight Goku or Vegeta, and that wouldn't have been easy. Finally, we get to see Goku and Vegeta face off in the World Tournament setting, and tension is as high as you'd expect.
Now remember, Vegeta, don't destroy the ring.
The same goes for you, Kakarot. I'm not going to lose to you this time.
We'll see.
I'll crush you!
The visual of Goku and Vegeta fighting in a tournament arena is nostalgic. For anyone who has fought their friends as a kid here can relate. Despite it never happening in the main series, maybe one day we'll get to see it happen for real. But like all good things, it must come to an end. Despite being equally matched, Goku is able to take the victory due to the nature of the tournament rules and the size of the ring.
No, unacceptable! I can't use my full power in this puny ring!
Oh, Vegeta!
Kakarot, let's finish this match somewhere else!
Oh well, fine. Follow me, Vegeta!
They decide to fight somewhere where they can use their full power. Somewhere empty. But as there were no movies currently playing to slander, they had to settle for flying to the wasteland.
There's no one around to bother us here.
Fine, is this better for you? You never change.
Neither do you, you know.
Really get on my nerves sometimes!
And with the formalities out of the way, the second round of their epic fight begins. It's interesting to note that Goku was completely satisfied with the tournament outcome, while Vegeta can't accept it. Even if he won in those rules, he might have still suggested they fight somewhere else. Once again, we play as Goku, although it would have been cool if we got to choose who we wanted in this section. The battle is intense, as all Goku vs Vegeta matchups are, with the two enjoying themselves every second.
Not bad, Vegeta.
I'm not finished yet!
Me neither.
While those two have the time of their life, Piccolo and Shin deal with the actual story of the Buu Saga, arriving at Babidi's hideout. Before they continue, Dabura appears right in front of them, smiling calmly.
No one will interfere with the resurrection of Majin Buu.
Dabura vs Piccolo has always been a dream matchup of mine. The former Demon King versus the actual Demon Realm King. It's just too perfect, and something I would replay a lot in any Dragon Ball game that featured the two of them. So seeing them as part of the actual What If is very cool. Unfortunately for Piccolo, the story isn't going to give him another win, and Dabura is able to push back both Shin and Piccolo.
I just can't!
Is that all you've got?
Our story goes from a very dire situation to something far more lighthearted. Krillin versus Mr. Satan, the two strongest Earthlings finally facing off. Sorry, Tension Han.
Hey, Hercule! Remember me?
Now why would I know some bald little runt like you?
I guess I didn't exactly stand out back at the Cell games.
18 gives a single look, and we can already tell how this is going to go. Mr. Satan is once again given the opportunity to save his reputation and keep his title, for a small sum of another 1 million zenny. He gladly takes the bribe, and once again, in a different timeline, Mr. Satan remains the champ.
Yeah!
Anyway, thanks, Hercule.
Yeah, sure.
No bribes will be able to settle the next conflict, however, as we return to Goku and Vegeta, who have abandoned their battle to investigate the energy they sense nearby, finding Piccolo, Shin, and Dabura. Dabura had defeated them both, turning Piccolo into stone and leaving the Supreme Kai gravely injured.
I'm not sure what's going on here, but you are not a good guy.
Kakarot, take care of this pest quickly so we can finish our fight.
The Demon King stands no chance against Goku and Vegeta, even after they'd already fought each other twice. No wonder Vegeta was so mad at Gohan for not getting the job finished in canon. They destroy Babidi and his spaceship, leaving the Supreme Kai in complete shock.
Where is Majin Buu?
Piccolo explains everything, and Goku apologizes to Shin for his actions.
Really? Sorry, Supreme Kai.
While Vegeta has only one thing in mind.
Now who cares about this Majin Buu? It has nothing to do with me.
I can't believe you guys.
Still, despite the unorthodox sequence of events, the threat was taken care of quickly and easily. Gohan really should have taken a sick day in canon, as, thanks to their efforts, Shin takes Goku and Vegeta to the world of the Kais, in order to let them go all out in a place even more durable than Earth. A battle at the highest points of the heavens, in the realm of the gods. A perfect location for these two destined rivals.
You're mine now.
Hey, that's my line! Here I come, Kakarot!
Come on, Vegeta!
They matched each other perfectly. Every punch, every kick, every block, every dodge, every energy blast, every smile. There was no more hatred, no more pride at stake, only the sheer thrill of wanting to be better than you were the day before, pushing each other past their limits and growing stronger with every exchange of blows. And so, their battle continued, with the victor left to your imagination. All that matters is that Vegeta finally got the chance to face Goku at his best, with no excuses haunting him like before. And Goku got to face Vegeta, without anything weighing on his mind. Just pure perfect combat.
Very well, Kakarot. Let's finish this!
The battle seemed to be without end, just like their burning will to fight. Thus concludes this story of what might have happened in a world without Majin Buu.
The ghost of Majin Vegeta haunts the entire What If, but by the end, we can see how there might have been another way for Vegeta to defeat his own personal demons. A great What If, and a celebration of a rivalry that still stands to this day. Though this means that Goku would remain dead and Gohan wouldn't get Ultimate, at least not yet. So maybe it'll be Vegeta to face Beerus, if he gets Tarbo's help in the God Ritual. Those are all the main what-ifs in Tenkaichi 2. However, there was actually meant to be a fourth one. It was removed from the game, but fans have ever since dug up the files for it. So, let's go over it. The greatest science battle in the galaxy, the Lost Tenkaichi 2 What If. Alright, this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. In the trial version of Sparking Neo, the Japanese version of Tenkaichi 2, a lot of unused material for a fourth rejected What If story was found. Thanks to VV the Joestar, Hito Tex, and Tech 2776, it was reconstructed into a video we can watch, which I'll link below. And trust me, it's super bizarre. Just remember, since this was never finished, the actual cutscenes weren't either, so they may look weird. This story focuses on Cell, Yamcha, and his eternal curse of heading headfirst into failure.
We cannot all be heroes, such is fate. Many faces will never rise above the crowd. But there are those who refuse to accept their mediocrity, despite all evidence to the contrary. Instead, they rush headlong into failure for the taste of glory. One such individual, of course, is Yamcha, still waiting after all these years for his chance to save the world.
Poor guy can never catch a break, even in his own What If. But as we will see, not everything is hopeless for him. We pick up in the Android arc, as Yamcha and the others fly down to the island by South City, where Dr. Gero and Android 19 have attacked. This What If is a bit disjointed, so not everything is properly shown, but we can piece things together. As we land, we see Android 19 defeated on the ground, and a terrified Dr. Gero.
Impossible! Yamcha is a weakling! I know this to be true!
Somehow, unlike the original story, Yamcha's luck turned on its head, and he managed to get the better of the androids.
Yeah, and that weirdo there is next!
Even Krillin is surprised by how much stronger Yamcha has gotten since his death at the hands of the Cybermen, and the battle against Gero begins. It's a tough one, I would assume, since the video skips the fights. But Gero and 19 are down on the ground, and Yamcha is panting.
Nowhere near as strong as Trunks said.
Vegeta has also arrived, just as 19 escapes, terrified. Interesting choice to have 19 survive instead of Gero. Krillin says they have to follow him.
Hold on! I need a sensu beam. I can't believe it, that fool Yamcha has stolen all the glory!
The trio go after 19, finding him by a cliffside close to Gero's lab. His programming is near failure after Yamcha's victory. Vegeta starts yapping about how 19 is fast and how he wanted to get to Gero's lab, while Krillin just doesn't respond.
That white one sure is fast. He was planning to go to Dr. Gero's laboratory. Don't ignore me!
Yeah, I get it. You want to show off that you're a Super Saiyan now.
So to humor Vegeta, they let him take the helm in fighting 19. This is where narration tells us that they follow 19 into Jiro's lab, where they find 17 and 18 in capsules.
So, this is Jiro's lab, huh? Hey, one of the androids is a girl!
And she's cute!
Vegeta says that they have to destroy them, but Yamcha has a better idea.
I don't know about that. Wait, I got it! We can use the computer to give them better personalities!
Narration mentions that from there, they called for Bulma's help, while Piccolo got impatient and fused with Kami. Although they followed 19 to the lab, they've lost track of him now. So we switch perspectives to Piccolo, who now hunts for Cell after being warned about him by Kami. He finds him in a city, but things don't go as expected.
Blah. There you are, you monster.
Piccolo, I am your brother. You don't mind if I call you brother, do you?
What?
I came from the future to save you.
Piccolo is totally confused by this, when suddenly, countless Android 19s appear all around them. Surrounded, Piccolo has no option but to team up with Cell.
Let's defeat them together, brother!
And after the fight, Cell explains the truth. Yes, he was created using DNA from the Z Fighters, but not for revenge, but to save the present timeline from a terrible future.
At this rate, those Android 19s will destroy the world!
Exactly, brother.
Stop calling me that!
Their hideout is in that glacier.
And together, they try to stop them. It's super cool to see a proper what-if with a good guy Cell. It's a shame this didn't make it through, though it's so weird that I can kinda see why they dropped it, since when they arrive, they don't find Android 19, but...
Metacooler, I knew it! No, the Big Getty Star!
How exactly did you know that, Piccolo? Well, I guess there aren't many other beings who could replicate technology in such a way, because he also has an army of Super 13s. Cooler curses, saying that if it wasn't for Cell, then surely his plan would have worked.
If not for Cell, my plan would have gone perfectly.
Thanks to Yamcha, I'm one of the good guys now. They tell me I'm too excitable and I have a foul mouth during battle, but...
This is such a hilarious line to hear coming from Cell. I guess the idea is that when Yamcha suggested reprogramming the androids, this affected the future where Cell came from too, and he changed into a good guy. I love this Cell. But this team-up can't keep up against the many Super 13s, and just as things seem hopeless, 17 and 18 show up. These are the reprogrammed versions of them, and are extremely self-sacrificial and heroic.
Cell, absorb us so you can achieve your perfect form!
Cell is reluctant. He doesn't want to take away the individuality of his siblings.
I can't do that.
Cell, they're going to destroy the Earth!
I guess there's no way around it. Sorry about this, guys.
He agrees, and the perfect android is born. Right then and there, upon reaching his perfect form, Cell destroys the entire Big Getty Star in one blow. Given the line that he says is very similar to Goku's in Wrath of the Dragon,
If I don't, who will?
If I don't stop them, who will?
I think the implication is that Cell dragon-fisted the Big Getty Star. And so, with the Big Getty Star destroyed, and the androids dealt with, peace returned to Earth. And we switch perspectives to Cell Jr. Showing up at the Cell Games arena, life had become boring for the android, so he decided to host his very own martial arts tournament.
Come on, guys! Get out there and show me what you've got!
With every single one of the participants being a Cell Jr. It's funny because here Cell says,
First match, Sonya versus Cell Jr.
But as pointed out by the translation, this is a dubbing error. She's not mentioned anywhere in the Japanese script, and the whole tournament is Cell Jr.'s. Which, of course, one of them wins.
Cell Jr. wins!
This is kinda weird, I mean, like they're all the same!
Vegeta, Piccolo, and 16, who are also there, clearly aren't amused. And because Goku was still sick with the heart virus, there wasn't much more excitement. I don't know why they don't just fight each other, but... And so, the Cell Games continue, with the exciting final fight being...
Final round! Cell Jr. versus Cell Jr. The winner! Cell Jr.
But all of a sudden, as the tournament came to an end, Metal Cooler returns.
Cell, I'm back!
Vegeta realizes these were the last few survivors of the Big Getty Star, and so the team of Z Fighters, aka Yamcha, Cell, and Cell Jr., all team up together to defeat the army. And thanks to Cell's efforts, the remaining troops are all destroyed, or so it seems. In a last-ditch attempt to win, Metal Cooler catches Cell off guard and fires a final shot, but his children jump in the way and use themselves as a shield to save him.
It's my fault. got carried away.
But the savage battle isn't over. Out of the smoke, another blast shoots out.
Who did I hit? Oh, Yamcha, huh?
Yamcha's luck had run out. Using the Big Getty Star's power, Cooler's able to absorb bits and pieces of androids 19 and 13, becoming even more powerful. But it seems Cell's rage upon the death of his kids pushed him into Super Perfect Cell.
Something's odd here. I'm done playing games. It's time I avenged my brave little children. Oh, really? Don't think it'll go so easily this time.
The final battle begins, with Cell and Piccolo working together to get rid of the Big Getty Star for good. But Cell slowly loses power over time as he fires his final Kamehameha.
Kamehameha!
This doesn't look good. Goku and Cell's getting weak.
The fallen Cell Juniors manage to get up and help, giving energy to their father and basically creating a father-son's Kamehameha.
Yeah! No! Impossible!
And so, Earth is saved. This is absolutely hilarious and super weird, especially given the fact that this all happened thanks to Yamcha, yet he still dies. His body's just laying there the entire final fight. Oh, and Gohan showed up, but he's never mentioned. I wonder what that was about. Still, I love this what if, and I wish it had been finished, purely because of the good guy Cell. He's really cool. They kinda make it work, even if it is a little convoluted. And the Cell Junior tournament is ridiculous. I hope one day Dragon Ball games give us really weird stuff like this. That was the deleted Tenkaichi 2 what if, which most of you guys have probably never heard of. So now we can move on to the finale of the PS2 trilogy, and the game I've spent more hours in than any other in my lifetime. Sparking Meteor, Tenkaichi 3. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 might be the most beloved Dragon Ball game of all time. Its roster alone made for any dream match, and though it lagged in the story mode department a bit compared to its predecessor, it made up for it by having secret what-if stories hidden within some missions. You probably ran into some on accident while playing the game. On top of that, there was also a short but very fun what-if story mission set. So first, let's look at the what-if saga itself, as presented by Kibito-shin. Look at him. So excited to see the messed up timelines. Always love that guy. Dream Match, Goku vs. Arale.
Look, it's Arale. I was a fan of hers.
Goku is gathering the Dragon Balls when he meets Arale again. He is bewildered by Arale's hasty greeting and rambunctious behavior.
Dragon Ball games loved doing this one. We don't get Arale much, but when we do, you know damn well she's fighting Goku, like in Origins 2. If you don't know her deal for some reason, she's the main character of Akira Toriyama's first big hit, Dr. Slump, which was huge in Japan. It's a great manga. This is obviously supposed to be a play on the Red Ribbon Army arc crossover, complete with a Penguin Village map. It's awesome. For some reason, despite the narration explaining that this is their second meeting, Goku asks who she is. And while Arale recognizes him, she introduces herself anyways, and asks to play wrestling. Goku's not ready for what's to come, but the girl's too excited. He even says that he doesn't fight girls, and realizes that she's too strong to beat while holding back. This is honestly such a cool fight, and you can tell a lot of love was put into both her character and the map. But of course, Goku wins, though not without being completely worn out.
Still, for a girl, you're really strong, Arale.
Aw, come on, Goku. For a girl? Well, he realizes then that perhaps what Grandpa Gohan meant by having him be nice to girls is that they're so strong, you shouldn't make them mad. And with a laugh, that first what if comes to an end. I like it, it's simple, and it doesn't really have major consequences on the story, but the next few are a little more interesting. Affectionate Android, Android 16, Judgment Day. This was my favorite as a kid, because I love Terminator. The Android arc itself is already inspired by those films, and this one pushes it even further.
It's 16, the android created to eliminate Goku. 16 returns to the past when Goku was a boy to confront and eliminate him. This time, Goku has help from an android friend.
This is basically the plot of Terminator 2. The T-1000 is sent back in time to kill John Connor, while the T-800 is sent back in time to protect him. Once again, great map. Muscle Tower should honestly be in every Dragon Ball game. This is a timeline where Dr. Gero created a time machine, probably as Plan B, in case his androids failed in the present. Which they did. Thus, 16 appears in the past just a few days before Goku destroys the Red Ribbon Army. 16 declares his intentions, as Eighter steps up to protect his friend. Goku tries to warn his friend that this new foe is way too strong, but Eighter already knows that, through some basic math.
8 times 2 is 16.
The fight starts, with 16 realizing that number 8 is also an android. But if he chooses to defend Goku, then he must be terminated. 16 is in a totally different league, both in terms of technology and raw power. But it looks like Dr. Gero was already putting in some crazy work even early on, because Eighter puts up a fantastic fight. Until he tags out with Goku. Seeing his friend get hurt, Goku explodes in rage. It's a difficult battle, but Goku can't simply give up and allow others to fight for him. This is great to see, because this is a battle we never got. Obviously, 16 was supposed to kill adult Goku, but killing Kid Goku still counts.
I was sent back in time in order to eliminate him.
It's honestly a little hard in the game, because 16 hits like a truck and has a lot of health. Goku takes a beating, and Eighter tags back in. But through watching the battles, the kind android realizes something about 16.
I think I understand now. You don't seem like a bad guy.
16 insists on his programming, so Eighter stands up to him again. But surely he saw as he cared for the nature around them during the fight, or how 16's heart isn't really in this. And it's true. As the fight continues, something blossoms within 16 that keeps him from using his real strength.
Is the problem in my thought circuits?
To continue the mission, 16 removes his limiters and shows off even more power. But it's still not working. It's not enough. Something is getting in the way. Eighter tells 16 that he hates fighting, but that he will in order to protect his friend. Seeing their friendship messes with 16's mind even more.
Goku. Friend. What is Goku?
Slowly, 16 begins to realize that Dr. Gero's experiments and androids were built through trial and error, and he discovered something.
Dr. Gero's highly advanced science and Goku's human heart. When the two came together, the ultimate android was born. His androids, made from nothing, had unstable human hearts. Perhaps one of these failed works was you.
It's honestly a touching revelation for 16 to have, and I think it hits even harder now that we know that Gero based 16 off of his own son, Gevo, who died while serving in the Red Ribbon Army. Dr. Gero, after all, was still human, despite his evil, despite how hard he tried to make killing machines. Some of that humanity sipped away into all of them. What he may have deemed as failures turned out to be a blessing for his creations. And so, unable to use his full power, Eighter lands a powerful blow to 16 that damages his head, making repairs impossible, and his mission a failure. Eighter is thankful that it's over, and that Goku is okay, but Goku's more worried about 16. This surprises the kind android. Despite being sent to kill him, Goku is still worried?
Eighter, isn't it amazing that there's someone out there who's so strong?
Goku just wants to get stronger, so he can beat him by himself. Plus, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. With the battle over, 16 can now clearly see that, despite being a machine, he does still have wonder for the world.
I see. Is this my heart? I'm looking forward to seeing Goku again, but
this is one of the best what-ifs in the games, in all of the games really. Not only is it a really fun idea that works thematically, but it's really touching, and makes you wonder what could have been if 16 was around a little longer. We don't see what else happens after this, but my interpretation is that perhaps in this reality, 16's time travel mechanism was also damaged, and instead of returning to the future, he went to hide away, only for Goku and Eighter to find him and take him to Bulma's for repairs, removing his programming and giving him full free will. The thing is, this is just a bit before Goku destroys the red ribbon, so 16 will be around for that, even if he doesn't participate. I'm sure Goku will have him train together, which will make Goku even stronger and ready for anything ahead. Going back through this has honestly made me appreciate Android 16 a little more. Also, if Goku loses against 16, then he says,
"Mission complete. Self-destruct sequence on."
Which is really the cherry on top. But there's plenty more what-ifs to explore. We go from androids to an intergalactic monkey rebellion. Galaxy Battle. What if the Saiyans rebelled? Again. This one is almost like a reimagining of the Saiyan Rebellion from Tenkaichi 1, but with more resources and characters to try and make the story make a little bit more sense.
The Saiyans working for Frieza discover a secret. Frieza is afraid of them, and he plans to eliminate the Saiyans. Angry at Frieza's betrayal, the Saiyans amass their troops. The start of an all-out war with Frieza's army.
In Dragon Ball Super Broly, it's mentioned that it'll take a month for all the Saiyans to return to planet Vegeta. But this is a timeline where Bardock warned the Saiyans, and they actually believed him. So, leading the charge is the Saiyan Prince, the King, and a few others. While Frieza's main forces are away, the Saiyans strike. The only real caveat here is that it kinda plays with time, mostly because there's no Kid Vegeta. So I think we're just supposed to pretend? Or maybe Frieza just never destroyed planet Vegeta until many years later. Also, they talk as if they're at Frieza Planet 79, even though the map is very clearly planet Vegeta, so use your imagination. This is an invasion. The prince comes face to face with Qui, someone who is said to be equal to him. He declares that the Saiyans will rule the universe, while Qui tries to get away and warn Frieza about what's going on, as Qui thinks that all the Saiyans coming together could even take down the Emperor. He begs for his life, but Vegeta has no mercy. He tries to trick Vegeta just like on Namek, but the Saiyan isn't buying it this time, and he's soon turned into dirty fireworks. With Qui dead, Dodoria arrives, surprising Vegeta, who thought that Dodoria was away with Frieza. The alien doesn't find it very amusing that the Saiyans think themselves so clever.
Listen up, there's not much time left. Kill them all and take control of planet Frieza!
Dodoria sounds a little different from normal in this game, huh? He wants to kill Vegeta right then and there, but Vegeta's more focused on defeating these guys before the Ginyu Force shows up. The Saiyans taking all of Frieza's elites at this point is kinda crazy. The game never says it outright, but I do think the Saiyans tried training beforehand. Frieza did not only fear the Super Saiyan, but also the Saiyans working together as a whole. Thus, Dodoria dies.
Ha! Enjoy Otherworld, freak!
And immediately after, Zarbon appears, calling them simple monkeys at the end of the day. But before turning his attention to Vegeta, he must first look at the low-class trash running amok, Fasha, or Celepa. If you know, you know, you know?
It's time to punish an ill-mannered female monkey.
This is an extremely difficult battle for her. After all, she was killed by Dodoria's men in the original Bardock special. Honestly though, it's so cool that she was included in this game. Fasha does everything she can to take down Zarbon, but it's still too much for her. That's when the Rebel Saiyan appears.
You shouldn't need my help.
Sorry.
I don't know, man. Fasha needing help against Zarbon kinda makes sense. Zarbon's disappointed that he couldn't kill the other, calling her a vulgar woman, but Bardock keeps reminding him to keep his eyes on him instead. And as he shows the fruits of his training, Zarbon realizes he has to lock in.
Huh. I still haven't gotten serious yet.
Then it's time for you to learn true fear.
The Saiyans can't believe Zarbon's spike in power, and as the elite pummels Bardock, Fasha jumps back into the fight. Zarbon laughs, while Bardock is worried about her.
I am a Saiyan warrior.
It's clear that this is a losing battle for her, but she refuses to give up, showing the true might of Saiyan women, standing tall, right by her male comrades. This really makes me wish we could get Gine in more games. She did used to be part of Bardock's squad before retiring, but despite the incredible struggle, Fasha falls. Bardock tried to save her, but it was too late, and it's honestly a pretty sad death, despite the limitations of the engine.
Bardock, you have to win. Frieza, you have to destroy him.
Bardock returns to the arena, while Zarbon cackles like a monster. And Bardock just tells him to shut up. If this game was released just a few years later, surely we would have gotten Super Saiyan Bardock. He sees now that these fools are serving Frieza out of fear, while the Saiyans can see a different path.
We Saiyans will carve out our own destiny. Even Frieza will fear us!
It's a great speech, and the pressure is on for Zarbon, who simply can't keep up with Bardock as it is now. He's been powered up through sheer rage and force of will, until finally Zarbon dies. Bardock takes a second to breathe and mourn all those who have died. Sure, Fasha was the only one in the game, but Shugesh, Borgos, and Tora all seemed to have given up their lives for the cause.
Fasha, rest in peace. I will defeat Frieza! Watch over me from the next world.
But that breath is immediately taken away, as Frieza finally returns to the planet with a tremor over the battlefield, a cold sweat running down every Saiyan's spine. Soldiers repeat his name in fear and excitement, and not only is Frieza back, but the Ginyu Force is on its way too. Frieza declares that this betrayal will not go unpunished, that they will pay with their lives. As the battle ramps up, the other Saiyans make way for their leader, King Vegeta. This is what the battle has all been leading towards, the freedom of the Saiyan Kingdom. But seeing the king only makes Frieza mad. King Vegeta here says something interesting,
Frieza, you'll soon join your father.
implying that they already killed King Cold, which is kind of insane. Quite an achievement. But despite being one of the strongest Saiyans, Frieza is still placing his foot firmly over their tail. The battle is so intense, it seems he's forgotten that he can transform, or he's simply never given the chance to. Soon, the king is killed in action. All that's left now are the Saiyan soldiers and the prince, now rising to the title of King Vegeta.
I know you're fatigued. You're weak. You can't hide it, Frieza.
This is exactly what Frieza feared. The Saiyans have pushed him to the brink, and now he's worn down. The final showdown, Vegeta versus Frieza. The Emperor is still cocky about the situation, while Vegeta bets everything on this. If they lose, then it's all over. With one last cry of his former title, honoring the battle that transpired, Vegeta strikes down Frieza.
I am the Prince of all Saiyans!
And so, the Saiyans have freed themselves from his tyranny.
Give it up, Frieza. I am the true Saiyan warrior.
The cool thing about this what if is that every combination of characters gives you a different ending, depending on if you pressed R3 or not. This final one is what you get if you go all the way while pressing them all. And it's a little anticlimactic. I mean, it's cool that Vegeta gets the win, but he also only says one line. Some others are more emotional. If Fasha defeats Zarbon by herself, then we get an interesting exchange between her and Bardock.
Fasha, get out of here. We need you to give birth to the next generation.
Fasha refuses. She's a warrior and wants to die with her friends. It seems like this is a pretty hopeless ending, but it's really cool that Fasha acknowledges Goku.
There's already someone to carry on. The kid you sent to that backwards planet.
As both Bardock and Fasha accept their demise, Bardock leaves us with one last sad line.
Let's go, Fasha. Tora is waiting for us in the next world.
Crazy ending, honestly. Really sad. Especially given the fact that we won in the game. If Bardock beats Frieza, we get something similar. Bardock dies, but leaves his hopes with Kakarot, acknowledging that the Saiyan race will live on. It's funny seeing Spike revisit the Saiyan Rebellion idea from the first Tenkaichi, except this time with a much bigger budget and far better presentation. With that, let's move on to the final big Tenkaichi 3 What If, and what might be the most famous, or at least the most memorable, because of how weird it is. Unexpected help. What if Frieza's evil heart got the better of him?
Goku thought he had defeated Frieza, but it was not the case. Now Frieza comes to Earth for revenge. Impatiently waiting for Goku, Frieza terrorized the people of Earth, when all of a sudden, an unexpected hero blocked his way.
So basically, Frieza and King Cold arrive on Earth earlier than in the normal story, in the middle of the night, and begin attacking Earth. So, as the Z-Fighters slept, there was no one who could defend the planet, or so you'd think. We find Frieza in the middle of the desert, but he's not alone. None other than the Devil Man appears, asking just who the hell this guy is. Frieza's plan is to turn Earth into a parking lot before Goku even gets to Earth. Somehow, Devilman actually knows about the Super Saiyan and reacts to the name. I guess he does work for Baba, so she probably told her fighters all about Goku's escapades after he defeated them. Frieza's surprised that he actually knows Goku, as Devilman just laughs, surely remembering his battles against the boy, and how his Devil Might Beam did nothing to his pure heart.
Has the fear damaged your brain or something?
Annoyed at Devilman, Frieza attacks, but Devilman says something interesting. He can see it. Beneath that metallic and fleshy exterior lies a heart of pure evil, just how he likes it. None of Devilman's attacks really do anything against Frieza. Despite having been a World Tournament winner, Devilman's far, far below anyone on Namek, so he has to survive until he can get a clean shot in. But before he can, Frieza sends out his soldiers instead. These guys he can damage.
My eyes are glowing red. The sound of my voice will hypnotize you.
Devilman quickly kills the soldiers, saying his line,
"Bad end." Ha!
Which is something we'll hear many more times before the battle is over. For some reason, the absolute GOAT, Apul, shows up, all while King Cold is amused by the fight, saying that he could use a distraction. The soldiers can't believe their eyes, as one by one they lose, and tired of seeing them be useless, Frieza returns. Though Frieza may actually stand a chance, the weaker ones are useless against Devilman.
I am the Devil of Justice. I am Devilman.
The fight continues, and Devilman admits that the Emperor's power is impressive, but he can't win. Slowly, Devilman does a little bit more damage, until he can finally see an opening. He can sleep once he's dead. Unleashing his terrifying Devil Might Beam, the attack takes hold of the opponent's heart and explodes even a drop of evil within them. With such a powerful Hack's ability, Frieza perishes in an instant, and this guy's just been living on Earth the entire time. King Cold doesn't even really mourn Frieza, he's more interested in knowing how Devilman did it, thinking he could use his own weapons to kill him. But Devilman doesn't need any weapons for a technique like that.
Technique? Yes, my final attack, the Devil Might Beam.
He explains just how it works, and Cold realizes why his dear Frieza was killed so easily by someone so weak.
An evil heart? Then... Exactly. Your son stood no chance.
King Cold comments on how Earth itself has many beings with evil hearts, and rushes at Devilman, swearing to kill him before he can unleash the technique, sure about his abilities since he controls the entire galaxy. The heroic Devil continues to charge up his ultimate move, struggling to keep Cold at bay, but finally he gets a chance, and repeats the exact same line as last time. Maybe Cold didn't hear it when he said it against Frieza. Either way, he charges his ki and kills King Cold. With Earth safe from the invaders, Devilman puts his foot down and said that not everyone on this planet is evil.
Like that monster Goku! Ahaha!
He then says that he's running out of time and that he feels like he's changing the subject, which I don't really understand. It's kind of a weird line. I guess he is from Otherworld, but it's not like he's literally dead. So does he have a time limit? I don't know. That line always confused me.
Bad end.
That was the last remaining proper What If Saga story, but there were more hidden What If fights in the other arcs, so let's go over them. The last remaining Namekian warrior. What if Nail helped against the Ginyu Force? This one is awesome, because it's something that was supposed to happen. The Grand Elder asked Nail to help out the Earthlings against the Ginyu Force, but he chose to face Frieza instead. So, as Goku arrives to face Recoome, instead of easily beating him like in the normal story, this Goku was kinda lazy and didn't train as much, so you have to take quite a bit of damage until the R3 prompt shows up. Goku takes a step back, allowing Nail to appear on the battlefield to help out. This is the kind of what if I like to call the unexpected hero, and we'll see a couple more of these as we go on. It's sick because it gives Nail something else to do besides distracting Frieza and fusing with Piccolo. Plus, in English, both Goku and Nail are voiced by Sean Schemmel. Goku confuses him with Piccolo, because he's a bit racist, but no, he's Nail, the strongest and final native warrior of Namek. Recoome instantly responds with his Ultra Fighting Bomber, but Nail fights with all his might, trying to end things quickly, seriously and surprising Recoome. After defeating the first Ginyu, Goku compliments Nail, even though the Namekian admits that Goku is still several times stronger. And then Jace comes in and calls him a Namek in a way that was definitely racially motivated. Despite Jace realizing that his power level is higher than Nail's, he still can't keep up with the incredible martial arts skills. With the orange magma defeated, Goku makes Nail promise that they'll fight one day.
Yes, once peace returns to Namek.
I'll be sure to do something about that.
This is where the short story stops, but from here I could see Nail battling Birder, while Goku faces Ginyu, and probably winning, if he beats the other two. Perhaps they beat the Ginyu out of Goku faster, thanks to the extra warrior, and Goku is able to recover quickly. The issue would be that, since Nail is still alive and well, perhaps the fusion with Piccolo wouldn't happen, especially with Goku out of the chamber sooner. Maybe they won't need it, at least not until pushed to the brink. Either way, I think Nail could remain on New Namek, but with a slightly underpowered Piccolo, until his fusion with Kami. But at least they'll have an extra ally out there to rely on. With Namek out of the way, the next story takes us to the Cell games. The true champion of Earth. What if Mr. Satan really did beat Cell? Mr. Satan taking credit for the defeat of Cell is a defining moment in Earth's history, becoming its ultimate champion and giving hope to everyone. And this story gives us a look at what humanity thinks happened. The story starts with Goku versus Cell. For this one to trigger, we have to press the first R3 prompt for some dialogue. And then a second one will pop up for the scene where Cell removes the rule of the ring out. Goku and Cell then clash, but the key here is to have Goku lose the battle. So Cell sends Goku flying off, and he finishes off the Saiyan with a super Kamehameha. At this point, the third prompt will appear. This normally makes Goku admit defeat and then summon Gohan in his place, but if we ignore it, then Cell will mock Goku and tell him to go eat a senzu bean so they can continue the fight.
Strength of a little girl, Goku. Why don't you pop one of those senzu beans?
Only for Goku to give up and allow Mr. Satan to enter the ring instead, with even Jimmy Firecracker getting all hyped about Goku allowing the champ to enter the stage. It's not the hardest fight in the world, but it is certainly harder than with Goku. So nice of Boo to come from the future to help Mr. Satan. You can actually lose this, but the game gives you a second chance and allows Gohan to come out instead. But if you win, then Cell admits that he let his guard down. He isn't dead or anything, mind you, but Mr. Satan declares victory. Jimmy celebrates, and the whole world is safe. It was all filmed too, so Earth can really see that they owe him everything. I guess Cell's just a good sport and retires back to the mountains or something, or space. This, of course, is the canon ending, not whatever happens in the next two missions with the blonde child. I will stop Majin Buu. What if Goku defeated Majin Vegeta? I'm sure that this is a story most Dragon Ball fans have thought of at least once. This takes place in the first mission of the Buu Saga, where we play as Super Saiyan 2 Goku fighting Majin Vegeta. Normally, the prompts trigger a cutscene that lead to Vegeta knocking out Goku. But if we ignore those, and just defeat Vegeta, then it's almost as if Goku decided to lock in and end the battle quickly, so as to not give any more energy to Buu. But after Goku knocks out Vegeta, instead of rushing after Buu right away, Dabura is dispatched by Babidi to continue the fight. From what I gather, since the fight didn't give enough energy to Buu, Dabura is there to finish what Vegeta started, appearing and declaring that he's gonna show the power of the King of the Demon Realm. Come on now, this guy doesn't even have the evil third eye. Neither Babidi nor Dabura can believe how strong Goku is, nor that he survived for so long. In the end, he defeats Dabura, just as Buu is born, and Goku promises to defeat the Majin himself. This is where it stops, but surely he arrives at the side of Buu, and shows off Super Saiyan 3, using whatever time he has left to finish him off for good. This means that Goku probably stays dead after this, with one last victory, as he now leaves the world at the hands of the next generation, and Vegeta doesn't sacrifice himself. He'll likely then be the Super Saiyan God, having to get Turbo to finish the ritual, and Super becomes Dragon Ball VT, Vegeta time. Surprisingly, this isn't the only secret what if in the Buu Saga, since Vegeta gets one too. The Redeemed Prince. What if Vegeta defeated Buu? Immediately following the previous fight, the next mission has Majin Vegeta face off against Buu, ready to give it all up for the sake of his new family. Of course, we know how this ends. The first R3 prompt has Vegeta realize that Buu is damn near immortal, and that he'll have to destroy all of his cells. But what if he just didn't kill himself to do that. I don't know how he would do it, maybe a much bigger and more powerful Big Bang attack? But if we ignore any other prompt after this one, and then defeat Boo as normal, then Bobbity shows up, angry at Boo's death. As you can probably tell, a lot of these boil down to ignore the story. I really wish there were more games with this kind of mechanic. Yeah, maybe I don't want to blow myself up as Chaozu, maybe I want to survive until Namek. Anyways, without any other option, Bobbity realizes he'll have to use his own magic to get revenge on Vegeta. He even admits that he would have made a great soldier if he wasn't an insolent fool. So nice of Yakon and Pui Pui to come from the past to help Bobbity out. Of course, Vegeta defeats Bobbity. In my case, he did it by still killing himself because it was funny. Vegeta just says that it was a good thing that Bobbity was so weak. With that, Vegeta can return to his normal life, probably having to wish for everyone to forget that he killed a bunch of people at the World Tournament, and revive them in the process. Goku will probably show him Super Saiyan 3 right before he leaves, just so he has something new to aim towards. Gohan probably doesn't get Ultimate and Goku stays dead, leading us this time to Dragon Ball Die Vegeta, I guess. He's got it, I'm sure he'll find Super Saiyan 4 without Goku. But if you win, you do miss out on this little dance Bobbity does, and I think that's worth the destruction of Earth. For the next one, we go all the way back to the original Dragon Ball, and Goku's battle against the Demon King Piccolo. Another Demon King rises. What if Tambourine survived? Goku faces King Piccolo at the King's castle for the sake of the entire planet. Having just defeated Drum and Tambourine, he's the last one remaining. The key here is to only activate the first prompt, where Goku eggs on Piccolo, confident about his abilities. After this, we don't press any other, instead just defeat King Piccolo as normal. This is when none other than Tambourine shows up, the assassin who killed Krillin. In the story, Goku had already killed Tambourine with a Kamehameha, so it's crazy to see him back. What's funny is that in the lore of Dragon Ball Online, some of Piccolo's children do end up regenerating like Piccolo can, and they hide away, until the normal Piccolo finds them in the far future. So this isn't impossible. Anyways, Goku is surprised, and already hurt from the battles. Tambourine declares that, with the Demon King dead, Goku will be joining him.
Once that kid is gone, the world will be mine.
It's pretty cool to think that Tambourine would have taken the chance to become the Demon King himself. Goku is way too worn out, despite the fact that he's so much stronger than the demon, when, out of nowhere,
Get away from my fiancé!
Chi-Chi shows up to defend her husband. Tambourine isn't impressed, but as the daughter of the Ox King, Chi-Chi bows to beat this weird lizard guy. Chi-Chi didn't get many fights in the series, so having her actually do something like this, even in a what if, is pretty cool. Goku's worried, and Chi-Chi is thankful. Her magazines say that a husband has to fight for his wife. And the more Chi-Chi fights Tambourine, the more he realizes what a monster she is. And with a final attack, Tambourine is defeated. Goku admits just how strong she is, and Chi-Chi reminds him that he promised to marry her. What a beautiful story. Brings a tear to my eye. Anyways, let's go to Dragon Ball GT. Tuffle attack. What if Goku needed help defeating Baby? This one's a bit different from the others because it's a pretty long battle, but the key here is to keep going and going, pressing the prompts until Baby turns Super Baby 2. They tried to basically do the entire Baby arc in one fight, so eventually after Baby transforms for the first time and Super Saiyan 3 fails, Baby will transform again and Majub appears. This is the point where Goku is at the Kaioshin realm, getting his tail taken out. The next prompt has Goku show up, the fight goes on, and then Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan 4. If you take too much damage as Super Saiyan 4 Goku and too long, then a final extra prompt will appear, and thus Pan shows up. Goku is severely injured, and Baby mocks the power of Super Saiyan 4. Pan can't believe that her grandfather is losing, all while Baby calls her another little monkey, and gets ready to kill her. Angered by all of this, and surely having some of her father's rage boost, Pan swears that she'll never forgive Baby, and it's up to her to defeat him. It must have been one hell of a rage boost. Even Baby realizes it.
The power level is rising fast!
This is one of the harder fights, depending on how much damage Goku did to Baby. But it's honestly a really cool moment for her, and with a scream, he falls. With tears in her eyes, Pan says that she has avenged Goku's death, but Goku's still alive. he just got knocked out of Super Saiyan 4. Hopefully she kept Vegeta alive and didn't just kill them both at once. Though, if you lose, Baby does affirm that Goku is indeed dead.
Go see your grandpa in the next world!
This next one is the last of the secret what-ifs, and one I loved as a kid, because I accidentally got it once and never again. I thought it was a fever dream. Burn up, hot fight, fierce fight, super violent fight. What if Master Roshi had to step up against Broly? This one takes place in the second Broly fight. I'm emphasizing it because I spent too long in the first one and it never triggered. This is the final fight of the movie, where Goku gets the power of all his friends to punch Broly into oblivion, only for him to crash down on Earth somehow in the next film. You have to press the first R3 trigger to have Goku ask for everyone's help, and then you just wait for quite a while. Vegeta is really the one who just straight up doesn't want to give Goku energy, so maybe that's why this happens in the story. Vegeta was the last one needed, and it didn't work out. So Master Roshi shows up, in his 100% power.
This is quite a battle, Goku! Hey, Gramps!
It's a muscle-bound versus muscle-bound showdown. The two clash, with Krillin warning Roshi that he's still drunk, or sauced as he puts it. He even tells the guys to wait up because he left his lunch on the ship. Roshi's surprised that Broly's got it in him to challenge him, but he wins anyways. Because he's Master Roshi, parentheses max power, parentheses drunk. His ultimate form, Roshi drunkenly says,
I won't lose to any young Ripper's number!
No one can believe it, and unlike Goku, I'm sure he actually killed Broly. So, no second coming and no Bio Broly. Honestly, I wish Sparking Zero gave us a different version of this. Have Roshi battle Super Broly in the Arctic and win. It's one of the funniest what-ifs in the game, though it's not entirely a what-if, since it does kinda happen in the movie. And those were all the what-ifs in Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. It may not have been as expansive as the what-if stories in Tenkaichi 2, but it did have some really creative ones. And hiding alternate paths within the story itself is so cool, especially when you're a kid playing it at night and accidentally stumble upon one. Between that, the character roster, the polished gameplay, Tenkaichi 3 ended up becoming a fantastic love letter and send-off to the PS2 generation of 3D Dragon Ball games. Now we've covered the original trilogy and Sparking Zero, but there was one more Tenkaichi game that many of us didn't get to play. And no, I'm not talking about Ultimate Tenkaichi, Hero Mode is for another day. So let's finish off with Dragon Ball Tag Versus, known here as Tenkaichi Tag Team. This game's missions follow the story as normal, though sometimes you can unlock alternate versions of normal missions that just go insane, as well as the bad guy's side where they win. Let's start with the big what-ifs, and then we'll look at the bad guy endings.
Unknown warrior from another planet. What if Bardock survived?
One thing you'll see is that, compared to other games, Tenkaichi Tag Team really like making emotional, off-the-rails stories. So much so that they did Bardock showing up to meet Goku twice. This is the first one. All these what-ifs start with a thought bubble warning us that this is just a what-if story, and it's really cool. Instead of Raditz arriving on Earth, at least for now, out of the Saiyan pod comes out Bardock. Just as he had predicted, the natives on planet Earth are still alive. That Kakarot. The game itself tells us in this what-if that Bardock never gained the ability to see the future, meaning that he was just likely away when planet Vegeta was destroyed. This isn't the same day as when Goku met his friends at Kame House, however. Instead, he went out shopping with Chi-Chi and Gohan, and Gohan fell off of the flying Nimbus. So while Goku's searching for his son, a powerful energy rapidly approaches him. Bardock quickly found him. He was surprised to see his son all grown up. At first, Goku thinks Bardock is just another version of him, but it's clear to his father that he must have lost his memories or something. No wonder the humans are still alive. He then makes a shocking revelation. Goku is no human. He is a member of the powerful Saiyan race, and he is his father. It's really cool to see this play out. I only wish it had voice acting. Bardock goes on to explain that Kakarot was sent there to take over the world and kill humanity, so Earth can be sold off. Goku refuses to accept any of this. Even if it was true, Goku's now from Earth, and this Saiya whatever isn't welcomed here. We play as Bardock, and the battle begins. They battle off to the side of the city, in an intense altercation. This also made me realize just how flat the stages in this game are. Bardock's power is far above Goku's, and even further than Raditz was in his place, given his strength in the special. Bardock gives Goku one last chance to give up and do as he's told, but Goku continues to refuse, so his father responds by blasting him again. Nice to see Bardock like this. We're so used to the anti-hero that it's easy to forget that he was really a heartless planet conqueror for most of his life. Not that this lasts very long, since after blasting Goku again, Gohan pops up and yells at Bardock to stop it. Goku tries to get him to back off, but Gohan just keeps screaming to leave his dad alone. That's when Bardock realizes, this is his grandson. The surprise completely shakes Bardock, and Goku takes the chance to tug at his heartstrings, telling Gohan to introduce himself to his grandpa. It's kind of a weird change of pace, honestly, and I can't believe it works. But it does kind of feel Toriyama. Bardock is nervous and awkward, but he introduces himself to the polite Gohan. And with Bardock won over by the child, he decides to calm down and stay on Earth for a while, surely realizing over time that this place isn't so bad, seeing how strong Goku is and training with him. But as a few months pass, another Saiyan pod crash lands. This time, it is Raditz. And we start off with Z proper, as Bardock is now taking Gohan over to Kame House. I guess he became drinking buddies with Roshi or something. Bulma's happy to see Bardock and Gohan, and seeing Bardock just say "yo" is really weird. He's clearly come to love his grandson, and become friends with Goku's friends, as Krillin compliments him for getting the hang of this whole grandfather thing. Basically, Bardock's taking the place of Goku here, talking about how Chi-Chi gets mad at him when he tries to train Gohan and all of that. But his scouter starts to sound off, and Raditz appears. It has been a long time. Raditz is disappointed in his father. He was supposed to get Kakarot to join the Saiyans, not him join Kakarot. Seeing Gohan, Raditz takes the chance to kidnap him after blasting Bardock. I guess this Raditz is stronger than the normal one, and he gives Bardock a day to train and come back to face him. Just then, Piccolo joins in. Yeah, it just kinda devolves into the Raditz fight, but with Bardock instead of Goku, which is kinda weird since the start seemed more promising, but it's still kinda neat. Bardock and Piccolo team up, despite Piccolo's hatred for Kakarot, and together they face Raditz, who calls his father a shame to their tribe. It's a 2-on-2, Raditz and Cyberman versus Piccolo and Bardock. And of course, Bardock wins, as Raditz is defeated. He sadly laments that it must be true that parents adore their grandchildren more than their children. He is a natural grandfather. And then Bardock says my favorite line in this whole thing to Raditz. Raditz scurries off, and that's the end of the story. Seeing how it ended with Raditz still alive, he'll probably return to Nappa and Vegeta, but with Bardock and Goku training together, they can at least prepare a bit. Though, without Goku dying, no Spirit Bomb, no Kaioken, that's gonna hurt them. Although, seeing the routes the What If took, maybe Raditz decides to stay on Earth and get to know Gohan. Maybe he changes his mind and ends up having a kid with lunch. I know a lot of you guys like that idea. It's a very weird story, but I love it. Don't worry though, not the last time we'll see Bardock. But first, we have to turn an unlikely character into a hero. The Saiyans arrive. An unlikely villain rebels? We begin right as the Saiyans arrive on Earth to get the Dragon Balls. The Z-Fighters had been training hard to protect the planet this day, and now it's time to see what all the training was for. Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo come together as they're approached by Vegeta and Nappa, who summons several Cybermen. We get to pick who Gohan's partner will be. Piccolo, Krillin, the usual suspects, except for a Cyberman. As all the Cybermen get ready to attack Gohan, one of them turns to his friends. Through their weird noises, they call him a traitor. But our Cyberman explains that he just wants to live his life. He's tired of being a pawn, which implies that these Cybermen weren't just born from the seeds right there, but revert back to them. Unless he meant he was tired of being used from frame 1, which I get. Gohan has no idea what's going on while they just grr and gar at each other, and then they start to fight. Seeing how this is only beneficial to them, Gohan jumps in with the rebel Cybermen. On the way to Nappa, they face other Cybermen. And once they reach the Saiyan, Nappa is angered by the betrayal. Apparently, Nappa speaks Cyberman too, since he understands that he's got complaints about how he's being treated and used. Honestly, he should have just started a Cyberman union. Nappa gets ready to pummel the creature, but Gohan won't let him get hurt. Together, they team up against the monster in one final battle, and although they put up a great fight, Nappa is too strong, and he's about to get a clean shot and kill Gohan with a mouth blast. Just as the blast is about to reach him, the Cyberman jumps in the way and saves the boy. The Cyberman growls for Gohan to escape and thanks him for accepting him, despite being enemies. This was the first time he could fight for himself. So, is this freedom? He pleads with Gohan not to die and explodes. Gohan cries by the side of what used to be his friend, still having no idea what he said. But he does know one thing: Nappa will pay. Full of rage, Gohan's power rises to the max. Nappa is confident, and this leads him to underestimating Gohan, who defeats him with a powerful Masenko. He's done it. Gohan has avenged the Cyberman. This means that the Cyberman's death gave him a bigger rage boost than Piccolo's. Gohan screams out his friend's name one last time, and that was the story of a warrior who fought for his freedom and his friend. I really love this one, I always think back to it. It's ridiculous, but also heartfelt. It's a very cute little story, and the punchline of Gohan still having no idea what he's saying the entire time is pretty funny. Gohan's rage boost is clearly crazy strong here, so maybe he can help a little bit more against Vegeta. Hopefully Goku doesn't take too much longer, because seeing Nappa get killed like that may make Vegeta a little nervous and just kill Gohan faster. Or kidnap him. Tenkaichi Tag Team loves giving small and inconsequential characters the spotlight. And we're just about to see that again with the next one. Ultimate Decisive Battle. What if Qui arrived on Earth? This would have happens right after Goku defeats Nappa and saves Gohan and Krillin. He now gets ready for the ultimate showdown, the Saiyan Prince, Vegeta. But things don't go as expected. A strong power level shoots straight towards Goku, while he is already on the defensive. But this guy looks unlike anyone Goku's ever met. A purple alien wearing armor similar to Vegeta's and Nappa's. Is he their ally? Qui introduces himself, and he says that he isn't with Vegeta at all. In fact, Vegeta destroyed his home world and stole those armors from him. This easily tricks Goku, whom he calls a simpleton, and asks him to fight Vegeta together. Goku agrees. Of course, Qui deserves a shot at Vegeta if he destroyed his world, but secretly, the alien just wants to finish off Vegeta for good. After all, they have been rivals for a long time, and are supposed to have the same power level, as he mentions in the Frieza arc. He keeps whispering his plan to himself, and Goku keeps asking him if he said something, but Qui just says that it's time to get going. Thus, Qui and Goku make their way to Vegeta, who cannot believe he's on Earth, and teamed up with Kakarot no less. Qui shows just how great of an actor he is, shouting about his homeworld, which Goku totally buys. The two gang up on Vegeta, and a poor Cyberman that's still around, I guess. But they actually do it. They defeat Vegeta. He's still alive, but clearly can't compete. Qui celebrates, but at the same time, we find Gohan and Krillin flying off to Kame House when they stop, sensing a powerful energy. They decide to go back and help Goku, and find him with Qui. He tries to convince them that he's Goku's friend, since they fought Vegeta together, but Krillin sees through his lies. He looks too ugly and evil, which, you know, shouldn't judge someone by their looks, but at least he's right this time. Vegeta returns, saying that Krillin is right, and that Qui is scum. But Qui keeps on lying. I mean, just look what he did to poor Goku. Vegeta showing up only sold Qui's lie more, and made Krillin see that he's definitely not his friend. Vegeta realizes that he's surrounded by idiots, and says fuck it, and continues to fight. This time with Qui and Gohan at the forefront. It takes everything they have, but Vegeta must admit defeat and summon his space pod to retreat. Qui wants to kill him and get this rivalry over with. But Goku begs Qui not to kill him, because it would be such a waste. Still, Qui says he can't. He was just using Goku. He can't let this slip through his fingers. But as he admits the truth, Krillin appears. He knew it, and now that he's all worn down, Krillin can beat him on his own. Qui once again tries to play it off, and Krillin is about to kill him, but Goku stops him. You can almost hear the crowd rolling their eyes. Goku tells Krillin to let him go. And of course, he can't help but listen to his best friend. Goku's just too forgiving. But it's not like he can stay here, and that was the end of Qui's tale. An example of a sad, sad warrior. I guess he probably had to head back home, but if Vegeta's going to Planet Frieza too, maybe that's not the best idea. I kinda wanna think that he stayed and became a Z fighter over time. The one Z fighter to just be a complete liar and a cheat. Kind of a cool dynamic. I'm sure that could help here and there. Time is short. Find the 7 Dragon Balls. What if Zarbon and Dodoria survived and battled the Ginyu Force? Now we make our way to Planet Namek after so many Saiyan arc what-ifs. In this story, just as the Ginyu Force land and take the Dragon Balls from the heroes, we find out that Zarbon and Dodoria actually survived Vegeta's attack. Somehow. But at this point, they've been completely humiliated, and could never come face to face with Frieza again, unless they really prove their worth. So they show up in front of the Ginyu Force, who are surprised to see them still alive, though the reports about them being defeated by Vegeta are true. They already realize that their value to Frieza means nothing now. Recoome laughs, saying that it's not like they had much value to begin with, while Goldo says that they probably don't even have a reason to keep living anymore. And while this is all true, they also have a plan to show their value to Frieza. They will kill Vegeta before the Ginyus can, and bring him the Dragon Balls. And in order to do that, they have to defeat them first. Which is just insane. I guess they also got a Zenkai or something. Zarbon and Dodoria team up versus Recoome and Goldo, and they're able to pull it off, killing the pair and threatening Jace and Birder, while giving them a chance to leave peacefully. The purple duo can't believe they're serious. It's obvious that the other two let their guard down. It's just a fluke. They don't back down. And the fight begins anew, where they transformed Zarbon this time, only to have the exact same result. Dodoria laughs at Birder, calling him the second fastest in the universe, and they die. Zarbon and Dodoria are one step closer to achieving their goal. Next up is Captain Ginyu, but before they leave, Dodoria compliments Zarbon's monster form, saying that he feels a lot closer to him because of it. Very funny. They find the captain at the spaceship, and he asks just who the ugly one is. After realizing that Zarbon can also transform like Frieza, he asks what they want. As they get ready to attack, all Ginyu says is that they'll wish Vegeta had killed them. It's a much more difficult battle, but they actually kill Captain Ginyu before he can even switch bodies. Surely Frieza will recognize their new abilities and welcome them with open arms. But first, they need to get Vegeta. Dodoria pats Zarbon on the back and says, "Go get him, champ, while your blood's still boiling." They just start arguing about how the other is scared of Vegeta and neither wants to approach him. Turns out, the fight against Vegeta was a traumatic experience. And that's the end of this one. Not the greatest plan, honestly. I feel like Frieza would just be pissed that Dodoria and Zarbon killed the Ginyu Force, but at least he would get his wish, maybe? This also means Goku never gets his body switched with, never enters the healing chamber, and doesn't get any Zenkais. So they're all dead. The decisive battle begins. What if Bardock was sent to the future of the Frieza arc? Alright, time for the second Bardock What If in Tenkaichi Tag Team, though this one is a different approach. Frieza has just transformed into his final form, and Goku exited the healing chamber, when suddenly, through some timey-wimey time travel shenanigans, Bardock is thrusted into the future following Frieza's death ball. Kinda like the inverse of what happens in the Lord Shield special, except even more mystical. I always love it when they have Bardock show up in the future. One of my favorite what-ifs I ever did was all about that. Bardock's been gifted with this extended life for one purpose, to see his son stand up against the Galactic Overlord, Frieza. Goku's confused. Is he looking at himself? No, but he's also not that far off. Either way, Bardock doesn't really want to bother with details, especially since Gohan's in trouble. Goku's glad to know that he's at least a nice guy, who's confused upon seeing that there were even more Saiyans around, when suddenly it hits him. He does recognize the other one. He was the warrior who defied fate and continued to try and fight Frieza till the very end of Planet Vegeta. Frieza can't believe he's seeing his face again. There's no way he could have survived. Bardock then says a sick line. "I came from the underworld to see you." Bardock explodes his energy, telling Kakarot that it's time to go. And though he says that he's Goku and not Kakarot, he too gets ready for the ultimate battle. And this is the exact kind of thing this game was made for. Seeing Goku and Bardock fighting side by side, especially on the PSP as a kid, was the coolest thing imaginable. And so, the father-son duo defeated Frieza. Bardock congratulates his son, but Goku says that it's only because he had his help. He asks him what he'll do now, come to Earth with them? A ship right there is only 5 days. Bardock can't accept. He knows the forces of Otherworld are coming for him already. Krillin then interrupts. Who is this? Gohan even notices that he looks just like his father. He introduces himself as Bardock of the warrior tribe, the Saiyans. Krillin thinks it's Goku's twin, which is close, but still no. Bardock doesn't reveal the truth, because Frieza returns. Goku tells the others to run, but Bardock yells out, "Who would run now? You're in the way, or do you all want to die?" Man, Bardock is so cool, but it's too late. Krillin is killed by Frieza. That was the trigger. With a snap, Goku awakens the legend, the Super Saiyan. Gohan is terrified and continues to ask questions, while Goku just tells him to leave. Bardock is the one who snaps him out of it, and tells him to stop talking back and escape. Goku tries to tell him to leave too, but Bardock could never do that. He's seeing this through to the bitter end. The fight begins again. Bardock laying eyes on the legend as achieved by his son. The battle ramps up to the point where Frieza tries to destroy the planet. Right now, Bardock is more or less just tagging along for the natural events. He's even excited to see just how strong Frieza truly is. It is not only a privilege to see the strongest in the universe at 100%, but to be the one to push him that far. Together, the last remaining full-blooded Saiyans take down the Emperor of Evil. Bardock was proud to be there when it happened, with no regrets. He now welcomes his return to Otherworld. In his final words, Bardock reveals that he was Goku's father, and Goku is left pondering. Bardock, having engraved the heroic image of his son in his mind's eye, returns to the Underworld. That was when Goku finally realized the man who was before him, the man who fought Frieza with him, was his father. Goku screams out in realization, and the planet explodes. This was a really good one. Sure, Bardock is mostly just around while things play out, but every time him and Goku are put in a what-if together, it's such prime real estate for some emotional storytelling. I don't think Bardock should come to the future in a real story or anything, but for what-ifs, please give me more. This also means that Goku will probably be a little more in tune with his Saiyan heritage going forward. With that story done, we move on to the Android arc. 17 and 18 awaken. What if Jiro and 20 survived? After being humiliated by Super Saiyan Vegeta, Dr. Jiro retreated to free 17 and 18, only for that to be a grave miscalculation too. But in this timeline, even after being betrayed by the twins, Jiro survived. Not only that, but he's brought back Android 19 to continue their search for revenge, warning him not to look as pathetic as he did when he fought Vegeta. Now he must follow his programming exactly, destroying the defective androids. The two of them set out to find 17 and 18 to remind them just who they were created by. When they find the twins, they're surprised to see Jiro alive, but why is he here? Jiro explains that he came to destroy them, but 17's just surprised the old man has time for jokes. 19 reaffirms their intentions, but 18 just asks, what the hell is that thing? 17 does recognize him thanks to the energy absorption mechanism, and agrees that they should probably just get rid of them to kill some time. Yet, despite all odds, and likely thanks to some upgrades along the way, Jiro comes out on top. 17 and 18 are destroyed. Jiro thanks 19 for his efforts, saying that the mission to destroy the defective androids is complete. But 19 coldly turns to him and tells him that there is one more defective left to deal with, and he's standing right in front of him. The one who created all of these failed androids in the first place. 19 attacks Jiro savagely, and as his master lays on the brink of death, 19 declares himself as the strongest android. Jiro agrees that yes, all of the failed experiments must be destroyed, but that includes himself and Android 19. Jiro grabs onto his creation and self-destructs, leaving nothing of the androids behind. Such was the tragic fate of the genius scientist. This is a short one, but I think it's great. Jiro is such an interesting yet underappreciated character. I'm glad he has a story with a little bit of weight behind it. 16 was mentioned to have been released at the start, and with the twins gone, Cell will never reach his perfect form. So I guess this is a happier ending. Goku and Vegeta will get their rematch, 16 will get to fight Goku, and likely be reprogrammed to continue living with the group. Maybe Gohan keeps up training a little more. Though, without the incentive of Cell, it might be a little harder to reach Super Saiyan 2. Still, tragic for Jiro. For some reason though, this is the only Android arc what if in the game. Every other one after this takes place in the Buu arc. It feels like these games never really want to do much with Cell for some reason. Maybe because of the time travel shenanigans. But alas, we move forward. Farewell, proud warrior. What if Majin Piccolo? This is one of the coolest ideas for a What If, and clearly they know it since they've done it multiple times, like in Supersonic Warriors, which I would love to cover sometime. In this story, rather than Piccolo being turned into stone by Deborah, he was actually one of the warriors to enter the ship. Maybe Vegeta was the one turned to stone because Babidi sensed the evil in the past of Piccolo and manipulated the Dark Origin so he would become one of his minions, as the reborn Demon King Piccolo. Now a Majin, Piccolo requested a long-awaited rematch with Goku, calling back to his defeat at the 23rd World Tournament. Goku tells Piccolo that he wants to end this quickly, as to not give any more energy to Majin Buu, all while Piccolo seems really ready to kill Goku. It's really cool to get a rematch between Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Piccolo. It just kinda feels right. The Majin power-up gave Piccolo an amp, and he defeats Goku. But they sense Majin Buu's energy awaken. Piccolo decides to take care of it and return to later settle things with Goku, if he's still alive. But in the meantime, Deborah and Gohan have no option but to team up together against the monster, who seems to have no end to his power. Shin regrets having underestimated the humans, but as Majin Buu comes out on top, and he blasts Gohan away, Piccolo arrives. Believing Gohan to be dead, Piccolo gets ready to avenge his student. Buu gets angry after Piccolo calls him ugly, but the Demon King's ready to sacrifice himself to take down Buu. And after the fight, Piccolo just says that he wishes he could have seen Gohan one last time. Saying goodbye to his student and Goku, Piccolo explodes along with Majin Buu. Yeah, it's pretty much just Majin Vegeta, but with a Piccolo skin. Though this does mean that Vegeta's still alive somewhere, so maybe he ends up reluctantly trying to help the kids master fusion. Though I don't think he has the kind of patience Piccolo does. And if Goku shows off Super Saiyan 3, then he might actually just kill himself along with Buu anyways. But in the happier scenario, Vegeta becomes a master, and with Gotenks they take Majin Buu together. Honestly, pretty cool to think about. Sad for Piccolo though. This What If has been done in a bit more interesting ways elsewhere, but that's a story for another time. Next up, another unlikely warrior tale, but this time, it's definitely someone I didn't expect. The Absolute Limit, Super Saiyan 3. What if they tried to conquer Earth in the middle of the Buu fight? Following Vegeta's sacrifice against Majin Buu, Goten and Trunks began their training for the perfect fusion dance. But when Trunks has to go get the Dragon Radar, Goku's forced to fight Majin Buu. As the world has fallen into chaos thanks to Majin Buu's appearance, a completely unaware alien arrived on Earth on a spaceship. A long, blonde-haired being wearing Frieza Force armor has chosen this world as his next target to conquer. With Frieza dead, this is his chance to take over the universe. He reminisces upon the fact that about 10 years ago, someone not only killed Frieza, but his most elite men too. He's so lucky. With the path clear for his domination, he decided to find the strongest beings first and kill them. When he tries to use his scouter though, it just doesn't work. Unaware that he cannot read beyond a certain level, he chooses to just kill everyone on Earth instead. What's funny is that since, through Tag Team, you can find random goons to fight, there's a bunch of your clones scattered about. They reveal that they are actually Babidi's men, instead of Frieza's, despite the armor. He defeats beings across the planet, and the soldier eventually makes his way to confront Majin Buu and Goku. He's confident that he can just defeat the two of them together, and threatens them. But Goku turns to him in confusion, telling him that he doesn't really have time to play right now, and Buu agrees. Goku tries to tell Buu to wait for the next powerful warrior, and ends up having to show off his latest transformation, Super Saiyan 3. The alien soldier is shocked by the evolution, but he has an unshakable will, and yells at the pair to stop ignoring him. Goku can't believe that he's still there. Buu thinks he's annoying, and the soldier now swears revenge for making a fool out of him. With no other choice, Majin Buu and Super Saiyan 3 Goku team up against this random poor Frieza soldier. It's hilarious. I think the reason why this story exists at all is kind of obvious. This is the Super Saiyan 3 level, and they happened to have a Frieza Force soldier with long, blonde Super Saiyan 3-like hair. Someone probably saw him and thought this would be funny. And it is. But somehow, someway, after probably eating a million fruits of the Tree of Might and getting his potential awoken 90 times, the Frieza Force soldier pushes two of the strongest warriors in history to the brink. But once they recover, they're genuinely impressed and want to keep on fighting. The soldier can't believe it. Who the hell are these people? Goku and Boo introduce themselves and question who he is. The soldier says that he is the one who defeated the evil Emperor Frieza, duh. Goku cocks an eyebrow. Are you sure about that? The soldier's offended. Good sir, are you calling me a liar? Well, yeah, because Goku was the one to defeat Frieza on Namek. Immediately after the realization, the soldier freaks out, apologizes, and swears allegiance to Lord Goku instead. He folded under zero pressure. Goku's confused, but Boo is excited to fight them both. And so, the man who had been declaring his rule of the universe moments earlier is now completely submissive to Goku. But there is nothing pitiful in his appearance. Rather, it seems that he's come alive. Like such a natural position for this man. The soldier powers up and rushes at the enemy. And that's where the story ends. Definitely the weirdest one. Hell, maybe with the soldier's help, Goku does end up beating Boo right then and there. And now, at the very least, they have a new warrior on Earth. He was strong enough to impress both of them, so maybe Super Boo absorbs him later on. And if not, at the very least, they have a new warrior on Earth. And later, he ends up becoming a permanent Z-Fighter, who's just a huge Goku fanboy through and through. You know what? This is my personal canon. He makes it all the way to the Tournament of Power and everything. Next up is a what if so obvious, I'm honestly surprised games don't do it more often. A savior appears. What if Goku and Vegeta fused into Gogeta instead of Vegito? This story begins way earlier than the what if actually starts, with Gotenks vs Super Boo and moving on to Gohan's arrival, and their eventual absorption. With no options left, the old Kai gives up his life so Goku can return to Earth, and Vegeta is given a day back. The two Saiyans meet up and make their way to Super Boo. As the monster rushes in to kill them, Goku pleads with Vegeta to fuse as their last recourse to defeat Boo. Vegeta hates the idea, he doesn't want to do it, but it's clear that they don't really have a choice. Since he doesn't have the Potara in this reality, Goku explains the Metamorian fusion, where they must perform a perfect synchronization dance, while keeping their power at a similar level. It's more or less the scene from Fusion Reborn, but they get it right on the first try. Without any words, Gogeta attacks Super Boo. It's a difficult battle, but Boo can clearly see that he stands no chance, asking what he is. Boo seems terrified, but Gogeta tells him not to be depressed about it. Even he's surprised that he's managed to humiliate him so badly. But they still have a plan to rescue their friends, and just like Vegito, Gogeta allowed himself to be absorbed by Boo to infiltrate his body and save the others, and the story continues as normal. It really isn't that crazy of a change, but it's nice to be given the option. I'm Team Vegito all the way, but I do love Gogeta. I guess this means they have the dance under their belts, just in case for the future, like against Zamasu, so they would probably just never pull out Vegito in general, sadly. The next story is the last of the alternate missions, taking place in the battle against Kid Buu. Battle for the Universe. What if Dabura became a Z-Fighter against Kid Buu? This is the final battle in the entire game, where Kid Buu destroyed Earth and teleported over to the Kaioshin realm to continue the fight against Goku and Vegeta. We first start as Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Goku teaming up against Kid Buu, while Vegeta recites his "You are number one" speech. But it soon becomes clear that Goku can't keep up his new form for long, and they'll have to figure out a new plan. When Mr. Satan yells out to get Boo's attention, normally Kid Buu spits out Fat Buu around this time, but in this what if, we instead get something kinda cool. Knowing that the fate of this world and the next relies on the outcome of the battle, King Yema dispatches an unlikely hero, the Demon King Dabura. Having been sentenced to heaven as punishment for his crimes, his entire demeanor changed into a kind one, encouraged by Videl, Chi-Chi, and Bulma, and now wants to help Goku save the universe and get revenge on Buu. Mr. Satan asks if Videl is okay, and Dabura responds,
"Yes, she's fine. She is dead, however."
Which is just quintessential Dragon Ball. Dabura swears to protect Mr. Satan and challenges Buu while Goku and Vegeta figure out their plan. But despite putting up a good battle, the Demon King stands no chance. Vegeta comes up with the idea of the Spirit Bomb, the fight continues while they ask for energy, and Dende heads for Namek. And from there, the story continues as normal. The only real change is that Dabura appears instead of Fat Buu. Though it does make me wonder if the Demon King will be revived once they wish for good people to be brought back to life. It would be pretty cool if he chose to just stay on Earth, though the lack of Fat Buu may cause some issues for the Moro arc later on. That was the last one of the alternate paths within the missions themselves, but there are a few stories that present the fights from the enemy's perspective and end up with bad endings. They're short, so let's check them out. The terrifying Ginyu Force. As a bonus mission in the Frieza arc, we get to take the role of the Ginyu Force as they arrive on Namek. Here, we get to pick who to play as. And of course, I chose Rikum, because he's the best one. This isn't a super deep what if or anything, things play out mostly as normal, but with Goldo surviving the first fight, as Gohan and Krillin are defeated, whom Goldo threatens to skewer. Vegeta is nothing in the face of Rikum, but before they can finish the three of them off, Goku arrives. Goldo also threatens to skewer him, and I guess this Goku didn't get quite as many Zenkais as the real one, because he dies. Rikum was hoping for more oomph, but of course, they can't be beaten by a lowly monkey. The Ginyu Force set off to tell the captain, and celebrate with a Choco Parfait. Now Frieza will get immortality, provided he finds a Namekian willing to translate, and they set their sights on one goal, total domination. Given that Frieza didn't even end up facing the Z-Fighters, if he does get his wish, he'll just continue expanding his empire, and maybe touch down on Earth eventually. But with Goku gone, perhaps Jiro gets more time trying to perfect the androids and control the world. And thus, years later, when Frieza finally goes to conquer Earth, he'll be in for total war. The monstrous Frieza. This one starts from when Frieza transforms into his final form, by having Frieza beat up Piccolo and Gohan, and then Vegeta and Krillin. Of course, the big end comes when Goku arrives, and gets defeated by Frieza, before he can even turn into a Super Saiyan.
It's been fun. I haven't had this much of a workout in a long time.
With Frieza victorious and Goku dead, the whole universe would enter a period of darkness under Frieza. Again, simple. But the difference here from the last one is that Frieza did face the Earthlings, so he'll definitely make his way to Earth to conquer it. With no one there to defend it, it will just become another planet to be sold, unless Devilman shows up. A close, intense, super fierce battle. For some reason, it doesn't seem like the androids have a bad ending story, but you know who does? Broly. His story is basically one big gauntlet. First, Goku and Krillin, then Trunks and Vegeta, who just cries about the legendary Super Saiyan the entire time. And finally, Piccolo and Gohan. Then we get one last rematch with Goku, as everyone gives him energy. It's interesting how they chose the Kaioshin realm here. The Broly movie is usually adapted in the city stage, but I guess it is an alien world. Even with everyone's power, Goku fails to defeat Broly. He yells at Goku and the others to keep on fighting, otherwise he'll destroy the planet. Which, in the movie, a meteor was about to hit it anyways, so the narrator tells us that Broly's rampage wouldn't stop until he destroyed Earth and the whole universe. Broly takes off, probably getting on a space pod to go to Earth like in Second Coming, while the entire planet blows up. From there, surely Broly will just go from planet to planet uncontained, destroying everything in its path, starting with Earth, and getting stronger with each step. I could see Babidi trying to take him over, which does happen in Heroes, but Broly's a bit too much of a monster to control. He'd probably just use the power-ups to fight Dabura, and Boo, if he's born. Z Broly was treated like such an unstoppable threat, I think he'll just keep coming back again and again. The terrifying Majin Buu. Speaking of Buu, this is the last of the bad ending what-ifs. We pick up right as Buu splits off from pure evil Buu, when Mr. Satan gets shot, and Super Buu is born soon after. We first fight Gotenks and Piccolo in what is supposed to be the time chamber, and then we escape. It's pretty cool, because from here, we end up playing through the moments where Buu kills all the remaining Z-Fighters. While Gotenks tries to escape the chamber, we fight Videl and Yamcha, which is quite an unusual pairing, trying to turn them into chocolate. And then Krillin and 18, where Krillin says a heartbreaking line. I hope we can use the Dragon Balls to meet again. Really reminds me just how hopeless this moment feels in the anime. Soon after, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and Piccolo escape the time chamber, and we eat them. We don't even bother absorbing them properly. The narrator tells us that with Gotenks gone, there is no one else who can stand up to Buu. So I guess, in this universe, Gohan really was dead, and not at the Kaioshin realm. And neither Goku nor Vegeta came back? Buu ends up killing anyone that was left, and sets his sights on the rest of the universe, ready to turn them into candy. Boy, Trunks is in for a surprise when he appears from the future to get help against Goku Black. Sorry, buddy, not much better off here.
Supreme Kai, let's hurry to the next one.
I'm sorry, Goku. This is as far as I can guide you.
I see. Gosh,
There's lots of things I still don't know about in this world. That means I'm not ready. I need to train even more.
You mean you will become even stronger, Goku?
Of course! Thanks, Supreme Kai!
And that was every What If story in the Budokai Tenkaichi series. Looking back through them all, it's interesting to see how Spike slowly got more confident. The first game was mostly experimenting with little bonus scenarios and tournament battles that implied the story more than it told. By Budokai Tenkaichi 2, they were writing entirely original stories that were actually engaging. And by Tenkaichi 3, they were hiding alternate routes and secret endings all over the game for players to find. Not every story was amazing, some barely even made sense, and most were just excuses for fun matchups. But that's exactly what What Ifs are for, to have fun with characters we love and see them in scenarios we would otherwise never get to see them in. A little reward for people who know the Dragon Ball story by heart, and realize that wait, there's a totally different path here. And now the latest game, Sparking Zero, had What Ifs as an entire selling point. I hope we get more of these in the future. Here's to the PS2 Dragon Ball era, a generation of games that defined our love for Dragon Ball. Thanks for watching, and if you like these deep dives into Dragon Ball games, then check out my videos on the crazy Xenoverse storyline and every What If in Sparking Zero.